joke, man. Texting. Hello there, BBD. How you doing there? All right. Welcome back, segment 2, Sack Saturday night, late night NFL preview, segment 2. I don't disagree. The redoubtable one himself and his glorious return, Tom Izzo. Good to have you back, buddy. I missed you.
Good to be back.
And I am, of course, the highly questionable one, RJ, the not-so-great Miliaccio. Segment 2, NFL Sunday, Week 9. Week 9. Oh, no, wait. We're going to start with
Hang
something.
on.
Hold on.
You're trying to bury the lead.
I can't bury the lead.
We're naming the set today.
We're naming the set. We are. Are we? There we
Yeah.
Okay. So
let's begin there.
We've thrown
the NFL can take a back seat.
Yeah. We've gone back over these few. Do you remember what we had? What do we have? 4 or 5 finalists.
I didn't think we had any names. Oh, Tatooine.
We had Tatooine. Mos Eisley Spaceport.
Never.
A more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
We've never established that as even a possibility for the name.
Well, if bad things are going to happen, they're going to happen at Mos Eisley Spaceport.
I don't even know.
If shady things are, you saw Star Wars.
Mos Eisley Spaceport.
When they met Han Solo and Chewie for the first time, that's where they got in the Millennium Falcon. And when they had Obi-Wan,
I didn't
old
know
man Obi-Wan. That was Mos Eisley Spaceport. Oh my God, this is
sorry.
You're.
I mean, I like Star Wars, but
You
I don't,
do. You
I don't
like
know
Star-
it like that.
You didn't. I don't even say it.
Sorry. Okay.
Well,
Well, so one is Tatooine. That was one that was thrown out. Mos Eisley
Spaceport.
Spaceport
The wretched hive of scum.
is another one. What else?
Uh,
The stuffed
was-
olive.
That's a Star Wars reference? Or are we just not going to name it?
No.
Okay, so, all right. The stuffed olive.
No, I was saying we could name it that. I didn't really mean that. I mean, we're just throwing things out there.
Okay.
Because we're eating stuffed olives.
And they are succulent. Sinfully succulent.
Do we go literal, like the garage?
That's a snore fest, right? The garage. Oh, the garage again. I think people figured that out. They
Well, I haven't heard you say an idea.
I know, because I'm flummoxed. Well, no, it's Mos Eisley Spaceport was my idea.
Come on.
What was the planet Yoda was on? Wouldn't that make sense?
I figured you were going to yell at me for not
The
knowing.
Dagobah system.
The Dago system?
The Dagobah system. That's where Yoda was. That's where Luke found him, the Dagobah system.
Really?
And Obi-Wan Kenobi's ghost told him at the beginning of Empire Strikes Back, when he was in the snow there, trying to run away from that snow monster, and thought he was hallucinating, and he sees Obi-Wan, tells him, "You will go to the Dagobah system. There you will learn from Yoda,
Dude, you're right.
the Jedi Master who trained me."
There it
And he's
is.
like all fucked up. Dagobah. He's a drooling vegetable. And then Han shows up.
On the planet, Dagobah.
Dagobah. Just throwing it out there. I don't know.
That's fine.
Dagobah.
Dagobah?
We're live from the Dagobah system.
Live from Dagobah.
Live from Dagobah. Not raining. It was raining a lot in Dagobah. Dagobah was like, Dagobah was like
It was like
Seattle.
a swamp.
Yeah, it was like Seattle. It was always raining.
Seattle.
Seattle, Washington.
It was a swamp.
I know it was worse than Seattle.
Didn't it have that? Didn't it have one of those?
Where he landed on one part of the planet. I don't know if the whole planet was a giant swamp, but where Yoda lived, yeah.
I guess it made sense. Yoda looked like something that would have come out of a swamp.
Yoda looked like a booger with 4 limbs. If a booger had 4 limbs, it'd be Yoda. Okay, that's what Yoda looked like, a 4-foot booger.
Like a gremlin.
Well, he's a little bigger than a gremlin. See, he was somewhere between gremlin and Oompa Loompa. It was like Oompa Loompa,
like
Yoda, gremlin.
He was like 2'7".
What did it
You think he was like 2'7"?
He was not 3 feet.
2'7". Or was he shorter?
I don't know. He was bigger than a gremlin, but smaller than an Oompa Loompa.
What's a gremlin
So-
like? 1'1"? 1'1"?
Well, those ears are pretty, I'd say maybe almost, not 2 feet, but somewhere like maybe
14 inches?
No, maybe 16, 18, somewhere in there. For
1'8"?
The one that you don't, the one you don't feed after midnight,
be
not the
what?
one little cute little white one. That one's smaller.
That'd be like 1.6.
Gizmo was a tiny little schlep. He was not 1'1". He was less than a foot. Gizmo. Now when you feed him after midnight, they
Gizmo
grew
was
that big.
8 inches.
Maybe. He was tiny. He was tiny like a puppy. Tiny. And he just would have probably stayed that way. If you
I gotta say,
Why?
this naming the set think piece just flopped.
It's just totally flopped.
It flopped hard. Like, yeah, dude.
What do you want to call it?
Let's lead with naming the set. And then we don't. I mean, it's the most boring.
It's boring.
5 minutes we've ever spent on
Well,
it.
somehow we got on the tangent of.
Dagobah.
No, that was a name. The Dagobah system. That was
The
it.
tangent we got off on
What?
was the height.
That was What,
Well,
how tall is
a
Yoda?
gremlin?
How tall is Yoda? That's what you asked. How tall is Gremlin? I don't know.
Well, no. We started talking about
What?
his height, but then you said, yeah, he's somewhere between a gremlin and an Oompa Loompa.
Well, he is.
So then I said, what do you think? He's 2'7" maybe? And that's when we went down the rabbit hole.
I'm trying to picture. Remember when he was on Luke's back and he looked like he was maybe 2 feet tall. Remember when Luke was flipping? He was training him in that swamp, and he was like fucking. He was a little booger on his back of his neck.
I'm going to say 1'9".
Also below 2 feet.
I think so.
We gotta look this up. I wonder if
Yeah,
they have
why don't I
Yoda. We
just
should
Google
look.
it?
Does Yoda's height? I wonder if I got news to you. If Google has that one, I will never question Google again.
Okay, so
If Google has Yoda's height,
Yoda height. Of course they'll have it. 2'2".
we were
It was
close.
2'2". You
So-
said 2 feet.
2 feet. I said maybe 2 feet, a little more than that. But I thought Gizmo was less than a foot. The Gremlin, if you feed it after midnight, that one I think is probably like 1.5 feet, 18 inches.
Dude, Gizmo might have been 6 inches.
I'm saying he was tiny. He was less than a foot. He had to be.
Oops.
The dog's face was as big as him. Remember the dog Barney? Was it Barney? I forget the name of the dog, but or Bernie or something. I don't know. But the face was almost as big as Gizmo was. Crazy shit. And the dog was afraid of him, and Gizmo was adorable.
For some reason, it's pulling up Daniel Gizmo.
Gremlin. Type Gremlin's Gizmo.
How tall is a gremlin?
That's the thing.
22 inches.
That's just under 2
So it's
feet.
under 2 feet.
Yeah, so we're saying between it's 18 inches. Is what I thought. That's 1.5 feet.
See, I thought Yoda was 2'7".
It was 2'2". You weren't that far off.
Yeah.
You weren't that far. I mean, if he had
But then I started thinking about it now, and then I was thinking maybe he's shorter.
See, the thing about when I keep having that image of him on Luke's back when Luke was whipping him through the jungle, there he was trained flipping around in that little backpack, and I'm like, he couldn't be 2 feet.
Yeah.
He looked like he was bigger than his head. That was it. So that's what I was saying. He's got to be maybe 2 feet. He can't be bigger than that. Anyway, so
All right, so what are we going to name this piece of shit?
I don't know, Dagobah. What was the one you had? The olive? No,
The stuffed
the
olive.
stuffed olive.
That was kind of a joke.
I know. I thought you.
The strainer?
The strainer.
Just like saying things that are out here.
I don't know what we got to come up
The
with
Diet
something.
Pepsi.
Dr. Pepper's.
The Purell.
If we end up getting Dr. Pepper's, we call it Dr. Pepper's.
Dr. Pepper's.
Dr.
Oh,
Pepper's.
so like, is this like the name of a pretend restaurant, kind of like Donnie B's?
Possibly, Dr. Pepper's. Because if we both like Dr. Pepper and we find that vanilla one, that could be the new. We drink with the Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper's.
Dr. Pepper's.
I mean, what if we were another version of Donnie B's?
What would that be?
Like Daniel Benson's.
What?
You know, I mean, we can't be Donnie B's.
No,
but we can
I
be
named
like-
that damn thing.
I know you did.
But anyway, what's
I named that imaginary bar. I'm eating the last one.
I did.
I did.
It's a great name, is it not? And by the way, talk about living up to a name. Every time we go in, there's at least one Donnybrook every night. There's
But
like
lately, there have been Yanni Brooks.
I
Found
thought.
this on the web.
Shut up, you. I thought the Philly game was actually because Houston hung around. That was a game for 3 quarters. No one thought it was going to be a game at all. It was tied at the half. We were all surprised, going, "Holy shit, this is
I
actually
just
close."
don't know why. Like, I haven't been into a football game in a minute.
Well, because some of these haven't been big.
Yeah.
Thursday. I mean, and again, it's hard. Plus, Thursday night, 3 days after a game. What do you expect the product's going to look like?
Yeah.
I mean, how often
Feels like it's always like that.
Because it's reality. It's like, and then you add a game to the season,
And it's like any player who's banged up in a Sunday game is going to play like a quarter and a half, and they're not going to be half of themselves on a Thursday.
or they're going to get hurt worse.
Right. That happened to Mark Andrews last week.
So,
all right. So you want to go through?
well, it's not.
I don't think we're going to name it tonight.
Why not? It's lost its thunder.
Well, how many more minutes are we going to give to this? I want to jump to football.
We do have to jump to football. You're the one who said we're going to take a back seat.
I didn't realize we'd be this ridiculously dumb.
Well, we didn't. You know what that means? We didn't have any
thoughts about this.
At all.
We had no thoughts. So
we talked about it once.
I don't really name inanimate objects. I'm not that type of person. I don't know. Like I named one car in my life.
What'd you name it?
The Blanco. It was a white Pontiac.
Oh, Blanco.
6000 LE.
The Blanco.
The Blanco. Because Benny Blanco from
Benny
Carlito's
Blanco from
Way.
yeah.
I was like, oh, it's the Blanco.
I've only I've named two. G-Mac. Well, Anthony named him. G-Mac I named. That was my last car, G-Mac, which was short for Green Machine because it was fucking green. But Anthony, my son, named the Cool Man.
Cool, that's a good name.
Which is a good name.
But see, that's the only car I've ever named.
Yeah.
So I think I'm struggling to name this because
you're not used to it.
I don't name inanimate shit.
I know I named this Yoda. I'm more natural at this than you are. I'm naming inanimate name BBD.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's names everywhere.
I just don't see that. Now, nicknames for people is one thing.
That's one thing.
But again, that's people.
Yeah.
I guess I named pipes when I was a kid.
It's got to be Dagobah, since Yoda is brought up here.
Dagobah?
It's got to be Dagobah.
Okay.
Dagobah. Welcome back to Dagobah.
And it also sounds like we're saying Dago, which is
not too far from.
Which is a nasty
not too far
term.
from the truth.
Which is a nasty term for Italians like ourselves.
Like ourselves.
So we're allowed to say that word.
Yeah, we are. So anyway, Dagobah, welcome. Does that mean you start wearing those ridiculous robes?
So it's almost like Dago Bar.
Dago Bar.
Yeah, we're going to the Dago Bar.
The Dago Bar.
What'd you say? Dagobah.
Dagobah. Either way, I think it works.
Right.
This just got exciting. Is it Dagobah or is it Dagobah? You decide.
When you say it like that, you can't really tell.
You decide, America. See you at the
Dagobah.
See you at the Dagobah.
See you at the Dagobah.
At the Dagobah.
Which one did I just say? See you at the Dagobah.
I don't know because you did it.
See you at the Dagobah.
Could have gone either way. The Dagobah.
See you at the Dagobah.
The Dagobah.
And then if you say it with a Boston accent.
Can I do that?
See you at the Dagobah.
Dagobah.
Now you don't. Now you really don't know.
You're all
now there's no way you can tell.
Now you're all fucked up.
Are you saying Dagobah?
What the hell's a Dagobah?
Dagobah.
What's a Dagobah? Like a chocolate bar? What's a Dagobah? What is that? It's terrible. All right, Dagobah. Dagobah.
It's named.
All right, there it is. All right, so transitioning into football. Hey, week 9, a lot of potential Donnies on the mat tomorrow. A surprise, I think. Well, I don't know if you were surprised. I'm surprised. Tennessee 5-2. Didn't think they were going to be that good, but Mike Vrabel
after losing to the Giants, and then they lost to somebody the week after that. And went
by the way, that makes the Giants look pretty damn good. They beat that team. They're 5-2. I mean, so
I think who else beat the Titans that next week after?
Didn't they have it? No, they didn't have the tie. That was Indy.
Pretty sure they went down 0-2, but it might have been.
They were down 0-2. They lost their first 2 out of the gate, but I think they've quietly won 5 in a row. Look at Mike Vrabel. Give him credit. Quietly doing a heck of a job again. And again, the problem with them is Ryan Tannehill. They have a ceiling because of him, and it's not the Super Bowl. It's probably the second round of the playoffs, if that. I can see him winning a round with him. They're not going to beat. He's not going to beat any of the top 4 quarterbacks in the AFC, and it won't be close because he's not even in the top 6. But
how come they've stuck with him for so long?
Derrick Henry. When you got that dude, you don't have to go get. I mean, they've had the number 1 seed twice.
Well, didn't they get to the AFC Championship game?
They lost at Kansas City, but they've been there once.
Yeah.
Well, you shut up.
Trying to pull them up.
But they, they're playing Kansas City, and Kansas City has to go to Tennessee. So this is they've had a lot of problems there in recent memory. So this is not a walk for Kansas City by no means.
And so their second loss to the Bills in Buffalo.
So they've lost to the 6-2 Giants and the 6-1 Bills. Maybe we were wrong. Maybe I was wrong.
But let's see what their wins were.
Let's see what they end up with. Yeah.
But here are their last 5 games. Raiders win by 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
Colts by a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Commanders by 4.
They're 4-4.
Colts again.
Yep. The 2 of the Colts.
Texas or Houston.
Houston. They stink.
And then this Sunday, KC.
All right, so I would say
So they haven't beaten any good teams either.
a couple of average teams.
Yeah.
So Colts, Redskins, or Colts, whatever.
So this will kind of show us who Tennessee really is.
This will give us a clue.
If they can beat Kansas City, now I'd fully believe.
Well, if the Colts beat Kansas City, then they beat the Colts. So that means they can probably beat Kansas City. If the Colts can beat it, they can beat
you're
it.
right.
So, I mean, the Colts aren't that bad. They're 3-3.
Kansas City should not have let the Colts win that game.
They trailed the whole game.
I thought they blew that. Remember when the guy got called for, he said something verbally to Matt Ryan and they threw the penalty flag?
Yes.
Remember that changed that game?
Yeah. It did. Well, it was a one. They weren't blowing them out.
I know, but
it was like they were behind. It was like this one-score game, maybe 10 points at one point. That was it. They were never out of it.
Is Indy's D that good? Or did Kansas City just have an off day?
I think it was a little bit of both. I think Kansas City got the one thing about Mahomes is when he gets pressured into where he feels like he starts thinking about I have to score. It's different than he struggles in that scenario. He always has. If he's just playing, and he's a machine. But when the game's tight, when it comes down, the closer it gets, the harder it gets for him.
Yeah.
So at least so far. Now he's in his 5th year, whatever. He's going to mature at some point. It's not going to faze him anymore. I think it's more of a youth thing than anything else. It's not something I think he's always going to be that way. But
what are we talking about?
Mahomes and when it gets down to one score games late where he can make mistakes because he has. So I mean,
he's also thrived in those situations.
He's had both.
Yeah.
But the other situation where he hasn't had that problem at all. It's really
Titans have some tough games the rest of the way though.
They do have a tough schedule. They do.
KC, Denver, Green Bay.
Yeah. Well, we don't know Green Bay. All right, Green Bay. We're going to talk about it. Green Bay loses.
But then Bengals, Eagles, Jags, which Jags is very winnable. But Bengals and Eagles is...
Well, Jamar Chase will be back by then. Yeah. Jamar Chase will be back. Right now the Bengals are in trouble because they lost their spark plug, and they really struggled against Cleveland without him, and he's going to be gone for 3-4 weeks. So the Bengals...
Cleveland beat them bad, didn't they?
It was bad.
Was it 20 points?
It was, yeah. I think it was 32-13. Well, 19. It was 32-13. It wasn't that close, by the way.
Yeah.
They couldn't get nothing. And here's the thing. Joe Burrow, this poor guy, they went and got these linemen to improve. He's the most sacked quarterback in the league right now.
Have you watched a full Cincy game?
Yes, I have. I've watched 2 of them.
And does it have anything to do with his decision making? Or you know what I'm saying?
Other than the first game, he's 14, or at least going into that game.
The game against the Steelers, he did not look
No,
good.
he was terrible. But after that game, now remember, after that
So you're
game,
saying that was
he
his
has
only bad
14
game?
touchdowns, 1 pick going into the Cleveland game, and then they lose Jamar Chase at the end of the previous game.
And what did he do against Cleveland?
He did nothing.
No picks, though?
I think he had 1. But he got sacked like 6 or whatever. I tell you what.
He's going to be... It's going to be hard for him to have a long career. If
They went out... And this is the thing. They went out and got linemen. They stole a Pro Bowl caliber guy from the Bengals. I mean, not the Bengals, the Buccaneers. They drafted another kid in the first round who's a stud. And they got another guy. They had another free agent came in from somewhere else. So they got 2 veterans and a first-round draft pick who was highly rated. And they still can't protect the freaking guy.
But sometimes I think that's because... A line really needs to develop.
They do.
So, like, when you pull pieces like that, it doesn't
time.
Instantly always mean...
No. But veterans usually adapt quicker than younger.
Yeah.
So
you said 2 vets and they drafted. But, I mean, that's Three people that were not in that organization last year.
No.
Now on the
but
line.
But they came from good offensive lines. They were
Yeah.
good players on those lines. So you figure you put these two together in this first round, you think you're going to have something. And the thing was, they were winning. They'd won like 3 out of 4, 4 out of 5, whatever it was from the start. Yeah. And they were starting to gain momentum when Chase got hurt. So then now they come into a buzzsaw in Cleveland, who's desperate because they're just trying to stay afloat until Watson gets back. They think if they're around 500,
they might stay afloat.
They might stay afloat, so they're not giving up. That was a huge win for them. Yeah. So, and they've been in a lot of games. Their worst loss was the Patriots. They've been in every other game really, other than that one.
And when you look at that team, if Deshaun Watson was the quarterback, they'd be pretty damn good. Because Jacoby Brissett has played better football than he's playing for them right
Actually,
now.
he's not playing well right now.
No.
He's not. He's played better. You're right.
Yeah. Like when he didn't play much for the Patriots.
He won 2 games.
But he looked good.
He looked good in the 2 games he played.
And then I think he played in Indy.
And
some games.
He almost got them into a playoff.
He looked really good.
He won like 6 out of 8 games there.
He looks bad.
He looks bad. And I don't know if it's because I don't know. I think their number 1 receiver was already out too, and so he didn't have that burn.
Who is their one?
I thought it was Waddle, not Waddle. The dude who came out, Landry. No, Landry left. He's gone.
Landry left. He's in
he's gone too. Yeah, I don't know who their number 1 is, but I heard their top guy, at least his number 1 target, was hurt. So I don't know if he has been hurt. I don't know how long he's been out, but anyway, he's been struggling. Being Jacoby Brissett, and that's hurt them. So he was terrible against the Patriots. But
his QBR isn't that bad.
No, it's not. But he hasn't been.
His QBR is 86.8. I know. I mean, that's not great, but
it's above average.
For a backup, that's a pretty high.
It's above average. I'm saying it's above average. For a starter, it's above average. So average starter is like 81 or something. But anyway, that's in here. The point is, the Bengals got to try and stay afloat until he gets back, and if the line can't protect, that's going to be hard to do. And the division's tough. The conference is tough. The AFC's really tough. It's 10 or 11 deep. We talked about this earlier. Which brings us to the Patriots and the Colts. This is a huge game tomorrow. Mm-hmm. If the Patriots win, they're mathematically in the playoffs. So, and the Jets are playing Buffalo.
You mean if they win and the season ended tomorrow,
they'd be in the playoffs? Yeah. Through all the shit they've been through.
That's interesting to think about.
And they've blown some games they should have won. Green Bay was one of them, and the 3 turnovers, 2 in the end zone against Baltimore was the other. Well, those were 14 points. They should have beat Baltimore.
I think I'm kind of worried about the Pats in this game.
I am too, because the Colts, if they can run.
Although Matt Ryan's not playing anymore, and I forgot about that.
Well, what's his name? Ellinger.
I haven't seen him play.
I don't know much about him.
So now I don't think I'm as worried. I would have been more worried about Matt Ryan.
Absolutely.
Which might be silly because the Colts think this kid.
Matt Ryan had won 2 games for them in the fourth quarter. He's the victim of a line that's not blocking.
I know, but the Colts are now saying, "Look, you hurt your shoulder, so we're going to go ahead and just move on."
Well,
that's what they said. They're not going to go back to him.
Yeah, I don't know how you're in second place 1 game out of it and you do that, but whatever.
That's why I mean, like, they must think highly of this kid, right?
Well, we're going to find out tomorrow.
Is he a kid or is he like a journeyman?
He's not a journeyman. But he's not. I don't know if he's a rookie.
Did they draft him?
I don't know that he's a rookie. He's young, though.
Do you know if they drafted him?
I don't. I've never heard of him before. I don't know if they drafted him, if they picked him up off the street, if he was there last year. I don't know.
Sam Ellinger.
Yeah. I don't.
Samuel George Ellinger. Went to Texas.
Okay. And then what?
When did they draft him?
I don't know. I don't know. Wait, hold on. Colts. But anyway, so with him, roster. Texas.
He was selected by the Colts in the 6th round of the 2021 draft.
2 years, his second year there. So he's not a rookie, but he's young. 6'1", so he's kind of on the short.
He's a big guy. 6'1", 220.
Nick Foles is 6'6", Matt Ryan's 6'4".
Oh, yeah. But I mean, he's like, 6'1", 220 is pretty solid.
Pretty stocky. He's stocky, like a...
Kind of like a Taysom Hill type?
Sort of. Yeah, maybe along those lines. So
anyway, Taysom Hill tall?
This would be, I think, is this his first start? Anyway,
That I don't know.
but anyway, he's going up against Bill Belichick for the first time. So Belichick usually with first timers that are young, he does pretty well.
But that's one of those old Sports Center talking points.
What's that? That what?
You know, it's kind of like, oh, we'll give Bill Belichick 2 weeks, and man, he can.
Well,
really...
that's the Super Bowl. But
I know. I'm just saying, like that. Bill Belichick and rookie quarterbacks.
His number is like 15-3 against them. So it's not like they're not pulling out.
I'm not saying it's a bad take.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I get annoyed by it.
If it makes you feel any better, a lot of that was with Tom Brady. Tom Brady ain't there anymore.
That's my point.
So who knows what's going to happen.
That's kind of what I'm insinuating.
The thing about it is the Patriots have defined the number one. Ramondre Stevenson is a bull in a china shop. He's legit. They have gotten the tight ends more involved last 3 weeks, and that has paid dividends. I still think that they got to use him more in the red zone. The touchdown pass to Henry, he caught that outside the 20 and walked in.
Is Judon still terrorizing?
I don't understand why you. Let me ask you a question. If you had a guy 6'4" who could run a 4.5 40, and he was like 260 pounds and he had hands like mitts, why wouldn't you run him right down the seam and see who tries to cover him, if they even can?
Who is that?
Judon.
That's Judon.
John Smith.
Judon's the DN.
The DN who's leading the NFL in sacks, by the way.
That's what I was asking.
That's the one Belichick got right.
Terrorizing?
He's number one in the league in sacks.
How old is he?
He's 26.
Okay. Did y'all draft him?
No, we stole him from Baltimore last year.
Baltimore.
He had 13 sacks last year in his first year.
Did y'all pay him big money?
Yes, we did. That's the one Bill got right. And if he uses the tight ends the right way, he might get them right too. But they're not. And tomorrow I'm hoping that they do what they did at the beginning of the game against the Jets and they stick with it. Because for some reason they went away from it and it was working. They got those two early and they just kind of went away from it. I don't understand why. You've got to have those two in the game plan, especially in the red zone. You want to help your quarterback out? Big, thick individuals with hands in the red zone. No, quarterbacks love that, okay? Because you don't have to be perfect. Just throw it up there and they'll get it.
See, I never got your take on the whole Zappy Mac Jones debacle.
I thought it was unfair to both of them, quite honestly, because Zappy, who did well in relief, but he was doing it against two teams that are two of the bottom 5 in the league. And there's no tape on him, so no one was ready for him. And he's got a hell of a running game. And by the way, Matt Patricia called the game totally different with him in the lineup than he does with Mac.
Is that by any evidence dictated by a different skill set?
I don't know, but Mac Jones thrives in the play-action offense. He ran it at Alabama. When they went double, they could go double tight end. He played that offense among others.
But how is Zappy different from him? Is he quicker?
I think with Zappy, they made a point, and I think this was they were like we have to establish the running game to give this kid time. And like I said, what happened when Zappy
was making throws? Though.
Yeah, because out of play action. Because it was freezing the second level. These guys were wide open. Oh, what a great read. Great read. No, that's called Ramondre Stevenson and Harris, and you have to bring those guys up to stop the run.
So you're saying when Mac Jones is in there,
they're in more 5 wide. They're more in the shotgun. They're not in that.
So it's almost as if they're overestimating what he should.
Well, maybe Bill Belichick shouldn't have said he was a top 5 quarterback when the damn season started. I said to you, he's put a bullseye on the kid the size of Foxborough. Like, why the fuck would you do that?
So you think
you can think that? Right. You can tell the kid that behind closed doors, but you don't tell the whole world. Well, let him grow into it. It's just like you just put a bullseye on his back. Now the fans look at.
So you think they need to simplify the game?
I'm saying
because that's what they do when Bailey Zappi's in there. But when Mac Jones is in there, like, oh no, let's throw the whole damn playbook in.
When Bailey Zappi's in there, they play complementary football. They use the run to set up.
They give each other compliments.
That too.
They're like, oh, good run, good pass, good defense.
No, the run. When he was out there, they were running the ball on first and second down.
In a complimentary way, like complimentary.
They were going to come out if they got 5 yards or more. Or 4 to 6 yards on first down, they would play action on second down. Then they'd run it again and get it to 3rd and 3, and then this kid had at 3rd and 3 you can open up the whole playbook. So they kept carrying. The difference between him and Mac Jones was, first of all, his average starting field position was like 25 yards further up the field than Mac's was, not by coincidence because the special teams played better and the defense played better. And two, they would literally, if it was 2nd and 6 or lower, they were going to play action pass out of it, and there was nothing the defense could do about it because they had the 2 tight ends in there because they couldn't match up. They could not match up.
Bada boom.
And when Mac Jones is in there, they're going 4-5 wide. They got him in the gun. They've got 3 receiver sets. They
need to stop making it like he's Pat Mahomes then.
Well, he would. If they were playing this, Mac Jones might not have a pick. Most of his picks are in the red zone when the tight ends aren't even being targeted or on the field. Like, why would you waste?
That is on Matt Patricia.
It is on Matt Patricia, and then all of a sudden he starts doing it, and it's like, where the fuck has this been? And by the way, why didn't you know about it? Because they did it last year. Like, I understand this. And last year, Henry had 9 touchdown catches and 700 yards. He was a borderline Pro Bowl.
Well, before we get you two men out of shape, now that I remember Matt Ryan is not playing, and that could be a poor take because they could be better with this kid.
We're going to find out.
I'm going to go ahead and say that the Pats win that game.
I think the Pats are going to win because I think they are going to play that style more. And also, it was just announced earlier today that Jonathan, the running back, the stud there, is out for the Colts. Taylor's out. He's not playing.
And didn't they trade away Nyheim Hines or whatever his name is? Their number 2 back?
Yeah, 2 back is gone, I think.
So did they throw in the towel?
At 3-3-1 or 3-4-1, I don't know why you would when you're 1 game out of first, but that's neither here. If they are, it's kind of means it's stupid. Maybe they're going to draft a quarterback. I don't know. Maybe they know they can't get all over with Ryan Tannehill.
Did they trade him?
No, he's there, starting.
Hines.
I don't know. Just know he's not there.
Yeah, they traded him to the Bills.
That was the trade.
The Bills picked up him.
The Bills got him, yeah, which just made the Bills that much better.
Yeah, because I feel like they haven't had a really good back. They've had
decent
Singletary.
Yeah, they had Gore for a little while.
But the past 3 or 4 years, they just had those 2 backs that neither one of them were.
No, because they were throwing out of 5 wide with the tight end and Diggs and the other dude, Gabriel, whatever his name is. So anyway, yeah, I mean the point is, I think the Pats are going to win tomorrow. Take care of the football and run the football and let Mac Jones play out of play action and watch what he does. He'll probably have a hell of a day if you do that.
This guy Hines has 1,200 yards already.
Total yards or rushing yards?
Rushing yards.
That's his career number. Because he's not number 1 this year. It's Gary Henry.
Oh, you're right.
That's his career number.
Because it says career NFL statistics as of week 8.
Yeah. What's his average per carry, though?
4.
That's solid.
4-1.
That's solid. Any receiving yards? It looks like he looks like a scat third down back, too. Or he could be.
He's got 1,700 receiving yards.
I'm saying he's more of a third
That's in his career.
Yeah. But the point
how many years has he played?
Gave them another passing weapon who can run the ball in the dive.
He's been there for 3 years, 4 years.
I guess he had been, yeah.
Jeez.
So they're second in the South. They're the Colts 3-4-1. Pats are 4-4. Pats win. They go to 5-4. Jets are hosting Buffalo tomorrow. Now this is another one. This is a big game. The Jets have not listened.
The Jets blew it against y'all.
Yep. Matt Wilson.
The Jets should have won.
Wilson handed it to him on a silver platter.
Ugh.
But again, if your quarterback throws 3 picks, you're not.
Yeah, you're not going to win.
You're not winning.
No.
And the Patriots also ran the ball for over 120 yards, and they held it just to 51 yards rushing.
But Mac Jones threw a pick 6 that the Jets blew again.
That was dumb.
And the guy just laid out the quarterback.
As soon as that happened, I'm like, what a dumbass. That's a flag all day long.
Every day.
Blindsides. It wasn't like a super hard hit, but he hit him hard enough.
No, but he extended his arms and knocked him over.
Ball was gone.
If the ball is gone and you're run into the guy, it's like, you couldn't stop yourself.
Yeah,
but if you go...
He extends the arms out and flattens
it's like,
them.
man, he already threw the ball.
Yeah.
You're not... Even if it is legit, you're not impacting the play. Why do it?
The thing is, I've said this many times, more games in the NFL are lost than won.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I've been saying that. My father taught me that.
Why is that?
Because
the talent level is
here's
close?
The thing. The reason football is the hardest sport to win a championship in, you have to think about this for a minute. You have to get 11 guys on the same page. And there's 11 guys inside that are doing everything they can to knock them off the same page. Mm-hmm. There's no sport like this. Okay, there's a reason why everybody watches it on Sunday and bets it, because there's no sport like this. There just isn't, where you got to get 11 guys on the same page. And if 10 guys do the right thing and 1 guy's off, that could be a touchdown for the other team. Like, that literally is what happens every Sunday.
That's a good point.
And because there's that many variables, there's going to be more mistakes. That's why I say more games are lost than won, because there's just too many things that can go wrong that you can't control.
Yeah.
Because it's just so hard to get 11 guys on the same page for anything, even when they're dialed in. It's just something can happen that they can't control. Maybe the talent, it's just so hard to do. That's why football is what football is. So, I mean, to me,
It's a beaut.
it's more games are lost than won. We see it every Sunday. You watch tomorrow. We're
you're
going
right.
3 or 4 games tomorrow. We're gonna be like, oh my god, we're gonna be talking about a mistake some guy made on money that cost his team the game. Some stupid mistake. I guarantee you, it happens every week when we think about it. We talk. There's like 3 or 4 of them every damn week. 3 or 4 bonehead Trojan ends Boner of the Week awards. It's like and the dude from Carolina who catches the 72-yard touchdown and then takes his helmet off in the end zone. He's a veteran too. This isn't a rookie who did this. This is
but then the cherry on top, the kicker misses the kick.
And
it was backed up, but like
it went from a 25-yard to a 48-yard.
all right, but still, he should have.
He probably still should
have
have
gone from 25 to 48.
The kick is on the 25-yard line, where the ball is kicked. So it's probably a 35-yard, because the end zone's 10 yards long. I'm sorry, 35-yard to a 48-yard. There's a 15-yard penalty.
That changed it 13 yards.
I'm in the ballpark there somewhere. It's either 30. It was either whatever.
No way it was 48 yards after a 15-yard penalty.
Well, that's what it was, but I don't know where the ball is set up originally.
Okay.
If it's the 25 or
NFL extra point length.
whatever it was 15 yards further away than where it was supposed to be.
Sure. No, yes. But my point is that still the kicker can make that kick.
Yeah, it's
like,
indoors.
give me a
Can he
break.
make? It's not like he's trying to kick in a driving snowstorm or something. No, I get that.
Three full seasons have passed since the league moved its extra point distance to the 15-yard line.
15-yard line. So the kicker's like at the
Making
20.
kickers boot the ball 33 yards. So it went from a 33
to a 48.
To a 48.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah,
48.
48. So
That is a far kick.
yes, it is. It's not easy. But if you're in good conditions, like this is in a dome.
It's a makeable kick.
It's a makeable kick. But if the wind's
But
blowing,
no,
can it
you're
have?
right.
Yes.
That's not
It's
a gimme.
It's not a gimme. It's not a gimme. So it went from a gimme to not a gimme. Because
It
you're
went from a
inside
gimme
there
to a
a non-gimme, to a 50-50 shot.
Right.
Because if you're 35 yards or in, that's considered a gimme, especially indoors.
A lot of going for 2 this year.
There have been because So
Because I guess even that 33-yard
it's
kick
not a
is
gimme.
not a gimme.
No. So,
33, that's cusp of gimme.
It's right there.
I mean, because a 30-yard field, if you said, how far is this 30 yards, that's a gimme.
I always, and again, I have no number to prove this off the top of my head, but I've always thought if you were 35 yards and in, barring like a snowstorm or a rainstorm, the one thing that's a gimme to me, inside 35 yards.
35. Yeah.
Once you get over 40 yards, now you get into the whole.
But NFL kickers have gotten so good that a 40, like 40.
There are guys that can kick it from 65
Well,
yards.
that's what I'm saying.
now.
NFL
It's
kickers have been
crazy.
so good that like
Yeah.
a 45-yard line,
Yeah.
a 45-yard kick seems like a gimme sometimes.
It does.
These guys don't miss a lot.
There are
of
guys that
those.
can make them from 60. You've seen the Wolves, the guys who's kicking it from beyond the 50.
The what?
Beyond the 50-yard line. He's
Yeah.
kicking them, and they're going through the goal.
The what?
The 50-yard line.
No, you said, have you seen the Wolves?
No, the pregame videos. They'll go into the field. They'll see a report.
yeah, like Justin
and they'll
Tucker was kicking it from 70.
Yeah, they show these ridiculous. They're behind the 50-yard line.
Yeah.
Some of these guys, and they're kicking it. It's clearing the ball. It's clearing it by 10
yeah.
feet. It's like holy shit. So it's becoming more of.
But in the game, you would rarely ever do that.
Well, the difference is you don't have 11 guys inside trying to run through and block the ball either. There's nobody in front of you when you're doing that. It's different.
But it's also like, the trade-off of that is, okay, we're going to give them the ball
yeah,
on our side of the 50.
yeah,
So, even if a guy's making them from 70 in warm-ups,
yeah.
how likely are you to really do that? Unless it's game on the line. And you think, we have a better shot of making this kick than a Hail Mary.
If he's clearing it from 10, yeah.
Right.
Then if he could have made it from 80.
But you would only, but imagine doing that if it's your first possession.
Yeah.
Okay. And you start on the 25-yard line, right? It's a touchback.
Yeah.
You gain 20 yards.
Yep.
So now you're at your own 45.
Yeah.
And then you get stopped and you go, let's kick a field goal from here. Imagine that, right?
I can't imagine that.
But
it's getting to there. It's getting there.
Because at this point, you would really only do that if it's the end of the half or the end of the game.
Yeah, yeah.
And the better shot is let's kick it
Yeah.
rather than try to throw a Hail Mary.
Yeah, the Hail Mary is I mean, how the Hail Mary works once.
But just
before.
imagine if like that's how good kickers get. Where like
If
you
you-
only need to pick up 20 yards and you're in field goal.
If you
range.
think about it, though, statistically, you're right because a Hail Mary works one every 4 years,
yeah.
4 or 5 years you see one.
Right.
But
Never.
It's rare. It's so rare. I mean, yeah, it's one
And
or
it's
the one at the
always
end
a
of the half.
mistake.
Maybe.
It's always a
Oh, it's always a
mistake.
mistake.
It's,
Yeah,
like some guy on defense tries to catch the ball like this.
Yeah, two guys crank.
He's like, he's got his hands down.
The ball goes
He's got instead of going up and grabbing it, he's like, "Ooh,
Yeah.
I can."
Yeah. Or
I
just
can-
batting
I
it
can-
down.
right. He's like,
Just
"Oh, I'm
bat
going
it
to
down."
intercept it with a basket catch."
Yeah,
No,
it's like-
sir. Somebody
yeah.
just caught that over your face.
So stupid. And you know the damn special team coach is going, just bat the fucking
Right.
thing down. And there's
then-
some dickhead who
but
goes,
then-
I'm going to pat my stats.
But then there are other times where somebody jumps up and instead of just catching it.
But you know what this is,
But
Tom?
have you ever seen the uncoordinated corner?
Yes.
That or like they bring in like a like a receiver and he jumps up and it's like and he could literally just go bloop.
Yeah, he probably
But he
could,
like
yeah.
swings and misses and then the guy behind him catches it. And it's like or he like bats it into a receiver's arm.
He misses. He hits his teammate on the head, knocks him down. The ball goes off his
Didn't
shoulder.
that happen in the JMU game? A guy jumped up and batted it into a receiver's arms
Actually,
and took it
was
around
it
the
the
side.
JMU game?
I think it
I
was
believe-
JMU against
I think you're right.
Marshall or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I remember this. I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where he batted
Somebody
it,
batted it
but
right
instead
to
of
a receiver.
he put it. Yeah, he didn't knock it down. He knocked it.
Yeah. Like,
But I keep saying this, and my father taught me more games in the NFL are lost than won. And it's because of a variable of 11. Trying to get 11 people on the same page.
yeah, that is tough.
That's so hard to do, and you got 11 guys going against him trying to get him off the same page. It's so hard. And all it takes is one guy of 11. Think about the ratio. 1 out of 11 could fuck up, and everything could go down. Okay, but that's football. And that's why probably why we watch, because that happens on every play. And like the LSU Alabama game tonight, this kid Bryce from Alabama made a play that I was like, he was sacked. He was dead to rights. He went left in the pocket's collapsing going around him. He takes a jab step and moves the guy so the lineman who had gotten beat can recover, then sprints back through the right side. Now the secondary thinks he's going down. They stop running. They're looking into the backfield, thinking he's going. All of a sudden, he pops out of the melee, and he's running for his life. And then they just the two DBs are just standing there going. They forgot there was a receiver between them, and he just runs 10 yards that way. He throws. Then all of a sudden they go, "Oh shit!" They look up and they start running like we're fucked.
Bryce Young didn't go past the line of scrimmage.
He did not. You'll see this play on SportsCenter tonight or tomorrow. And you're like, oh my God. It looks like he's sacked, like twice. And you can see why the secondary stopped. So the front seven did everything right. The guy, the two, and then all of a sudden these guys just peeked into the backfield and forgot to stay with these two. Because there were two Alabama receivers back there, and this one of them, I'll catch it. I'll run it.
I just saw your chain and started laughing.
You guys notice it?
Spin it.
Oh, yeah, you got to see it. Spin. This is check this out. This is ready. Okay, there it is.
So it won't keep spinning.
Well, it will if I hold on a second. I think it's because it also does this a little. There it is. There we go. See that, America? Look at that. It's kind of cool looking, isn't it? Yep. So this was part of my Halloween costume. Oh, by the way, happy Halloween. Hope you
That's
had
a
great
real
Halloween.
deal. How many carrots is in that?
I don't know. 20,000. Who knows?
Carrots of plastic.
Carrots of plastic. I don't care. It still looks smooth.
No,
I want to get him one for Christmas.
that's right.
So we can have matching.
Couple of spinners.
Couple of spinners. Which leads, speaking of spinners, survival game, knockout game this weekend, 425 Rams defending Super Bowl champs at 3-5. Who would have predicted that one? At Tampa Bay, 1 years ago, 13-4. They are 3-5.
Ugh,
Holy Moses!
that's
This
bad.
somebody's season's gonna be over.
Who do you think has looked worse? Because
don't
I'm
know.
going to
That's a
say
great-
Tampa,
it's a great
but
question.
I think I've seen Tampa more.
I think the problem with saying that is because Tampa lost their All-Pro center before the season started.
No, but regardless
guy.
of why.
Well, they were going to struggle because
Regardless of
they.
why.
Yeah, I mean, and they haven't been healthy. They
Right,
have
but
not been
regardless
healthy.
of why, who has looked worse? I don't care if it's because they got third stringers in there or because they just stink.
Well, the
Because the
worst
Rams got destroyed on Thursday night, opening night
Buffalo
of the season.
bitch slapped them.
I mean, just
just.
yeah.
And that was a game at the half.
No,
It was
last
10
year was fun.
It was 10-10 at the half, and then Buffalo just went, nope, this is over.
It was nice. It was nice that you guys.
And they
won
weren't
Super
the
Bowl.
last team that did this to them.
No.
San Francisco did it.
Dallas did it.
Dallas did it to them. So they've been
Dallas. Yeah, they've been slapped.
slapped
all over.
silly, The problem with the Bucks, they have that loss in Carolina
Yeah.
was only bested by that loss in Pittsburgh. If you think about it, because Pittsburgh
God,
at the
they
time,
lost to Pittsburgh.
at Pittsburgh. At least we're on the road, but still,
I mean, come on.
they still should have won. It could have been ugly, but they still should have won.
Pittsburgh is not good,
Nope.
but they're good enough to like if you fuck up, they'll beat you.
They are not a good team. Pittsburgh.
God.
Okay, and Carolina is a worse team, probably. So, my point is, they have looked. If you look at quality of losses or how bad they are, at least in Buffalo's case, they got bitch slapped by contenders. Tampa Bay is dropping games to just bottom feeders, and so to me, they've looked worse.
Rams, Bucks.
The impending cliff that people keep saying Tom Brady has now apparently fallen over. Just for you cliff eaters, cliffhangers. Tom Brady is currently number 2 in the league in passing. Okay? He has a 9, let me say this slowly, a 9-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. And he leads the NFL in ball and getting the ball out at 2.2.
How many touchdowns does he have?
9 passes, 1 pick.
He's only thrown 9 TDs.
Yeah, because he's got nobody.
Yeah.
This is the thing.
I know, but
And-
typically he can have nobody, and he still.
You know what he had?
So I'm not.
You know what he's
I'm not a hater.
No, but let
of
me tell you
his.
why. Let me
But
tell you.
typically, it seems like he never has anybody. But
No,
I
but
know,
you
that's
know what he
not
has?
true. That's not real.
You know what he has? What he's always had when he has a running game.
So he doesn't have a running game right now.
They are dead. This is what I'm talking about. They are dead last in the league in rushing at 61
Who
yards.
do they
a
still
game.
have? LeGarrette?
They have LeGarrette Blount. Not LeGarrette, but they have Fournier. What's his name is?
Fournette.
Fournette.
I said LeGarrette.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Well, they're about the same size.
Yeah,
They're big.
they're big as fuck.
So they're big as fuck. But anyway, but he has no line.
Yeah.
So he can't run. And then this is the reality.
Receivers have gotten hurt.
Their best receiver is aging before our eyes. Their second best receiver is coming off of a torn ACL. Their third receiver flamed
Is Evans
out.
their best receiver?
It's Edmonds and Godwin.
Evans is the best.
Is the best. He's aging before our eyes. Godwin's coming off a torn ACL, number 2. Number 3 flamed out in MetLife Stadium last year, if you remember that debacle. The guy that was, Antonio Brown, that was his number 3.
Oh.
He flamed out in MetLife
was that
Stadium
against
last
the
year.
Jets?
And then Tom Brady still
Was
threw
that
the
against the Jets?
Yep, and Brady still won on the game-winning drive in the last 2 minutes to beat the Jets. Some kid named Perryman caught a touchdown pass because that's Tom Brady. But the bottom line is he had a running game, though. So he has no running game. His best receiver is aging. Second best, coming off turn tail. The third guy flamed out in MetLife. The guy that was brought in.
No Gronk.
No Gronk retires. Gronk
No
retires. And the guy that was brought in to replace the third
God,
guy.
why did he come back?
The guy that came.
Why did he come
Let me
back?
finish. You're cutting me off. The guy that went in, they brought in to replace the guy that flamed out. He gets hurt walking from here to there. He's played in 2 games this year. So the question I have for you, Brady haters, is what is he supposed to do with that? Because none of it's his fault.
Why did he come back? That's still
Well, because I don't think he foresaw this
still
happening.
my question.
Well, I'll tell you why he came back. He was 1 play from the Super Bowl, and he led the NFL in touchdowns and yardage. He was second for the MVP vote. A lot of people thought he should have won it, but they gave it to loser in Green Bay there. How's that dickhead doing, by the way? So he's worse. As bad as Brady. Look, he's worse. Brady's completing just 65.9% of his passes. He's number 2 in passing yards. He's a 9-to-1. This is falling off a cliff, and he has no running game. He has no tight end anymore. He doesn't have a 2. He doesn't have a 3, and the 1 is.
It's again.
What is he supposed to do?
No, you know what it comes down to. People look at wins and losses, and they just expect Brady to win all the time.
Well, he's never been 2 games below. He's never been 2 games below 500 until now.
So you can't look at people and say, "How could you be so dumb to not think this? Like to think this way?" They're just not used to seeing them lose.
But I'm saying, if you look, honest, all you have to do.
Most people don't look that deep.
That's not very deep. That's ESPN. That's all it is.
No, it's not.
It is. It's right there on the page. It's not hard to find.
ESPN is going to go, Tampa stinks. They're going to hell. They're not going to go, but Tom Brady's good. They're just going to pile on Tampa while they stink.
They're not piling on Tampa. They're piling on Tom. They're saying he needs to be better.
ESPN?
Yeah. And I'm like, how can he be better when all that stuff is true? What would you...
I thought you said...
No, they're saying Brady's fallen off a cliff, and I'm like, this is the cliff. He stinks. He's not. I'm like, how can a guy with a 66% completion percentage, number 2 in the league in passing yards, a 9-to-1 touchdown reception, how can a guy with those statistics stink? And then you throw on the top. He's doing that with no running game dead last league, no tight end, no number 2, no number 3. The number 1 is aging before our eyes. How is he doing that with that hot mess of garbage? Oh, by the way, his defense, that all-world defense that was supposed to be the number 2, them in Buffalo won. Where the hell have they been getting? They're terrible.
They suck.
They're fucking terrible.
I have them in fantasy, and they suck.
If you're Tom Brady and you're trying to help the situation, and you know your line stinks. So the first thing you do is protect the line. All right, get the ball out faster. He's number 1 in the league, 2.2 seconds he gets the ball. So he's protecting his line. He's only been sacked 13 times, okay, with no running game and no line, okay? What's the second thing you do? Your defense is getting their ass kicked. Don't put them in bad spots. 1 pick, and that was over the 50. And he's had 1 fumble. So he's had 2 turnovers all year. So he's not putting his defense in a bad spot, and he's getting rid of the ball so his line doesn't get exposed.
He's still good.
What do you want him to do? What do you expect of that mess? Because here's another fun fact. Name me one quarterback in the history of this league, I'll give you the whole history of the league, who took a team to the Super Bowl that was last in the league in rushing and last in the league in stopping the run. Name me one quarterback. I will wait.
Tampa's last in the league stopping the run.
They have been run on. You look at what the last 3 teams have done to that defense, which was stout against the run. 200 yards.
Yeah.
200 yards a game they're getting bum blasted in the middle. It's ridiculous. The front 4 is getting their asses kicked.
Did Ndamukong Suh retire?
Yeah, but they still got Villa. They still have the 2. Although that linebacking core is probably the best in football.
Are they hurt?
They just lost Shaq Barrett in the last game for the season.
Now they're going to stink.
But he was there and they stunk.
I think I should drop their defense in fantasy.
If I were you, I'd drop their defense like it was yesterday because they're going to get ramrodded again tomorrow. Actually, they won't because the Rams are stupid and don't run the football. So
they actually could beat the Rams.
They can beat the Rams because the Rams are stupid. The Rams think Cooper Kupp is the only guy on the field. And the team is going, you want to give Cooper Kupp 30 touches? He ain't beating us by himself. Yeah. And they're right because he can't as good as he is. The guy they brought in who's supposed to be really good, the receiver from Chicago, he's barely getting a look. They've stopped trying to bring him
from Chicago.
Corn Robinson, whatever. This dude was a stud in Chicago. He was average. He was over 1,000 yards like for 4 straight seasons, but no one knew who he was because he was in Chicago. But everybody that knows football is like that kid's a beast.
Allen Robinson.
It's either Allen or Corn. I forget which one. But anyway,
Allen Robinson.
Last name is Robinson, and he came over. You look at his numbers from Chicago last 4 years. The kid's a stud.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my God, this is going to help them.
What's up with LA's D? Have they played well this year?
Double team Aaron Donalds.
And then the rest of it's nothing?
History.
Do they still have Ramsey?
Von Miller's gone.
They still have Jalen Ramsey?
Von Miller's gone. Von Miller
right.
left.
He went to
He's
Buffalo.
That's a problem.
Do they still have Jalen Ramsey?
Yeah. But they're not
He's getting up there, isn't he?
No, well, but they have no pass rush. Last year, the Rams were in the top 10 league in sacks. This year, they're in the bottom 10. They're not getting pressure. And everybody knows Aaron Donald's the guy. Double, triple team, they don't care because they can win the other battles. So
yeah, I don't know who else is on their D-line. I know I don't follow them, but
they were better last year because they had
Von Miller.
They had a guy off the edge who could win one-on-one.
Damn, isn't he old? I feel like he's been in the league for
I think he's in his 10th year. I think it's 10 years.
Because he won with the Broncos, right? With the Peyton Manning Broncos.
He was a rookie.
Was he a rookie?
I think he was a rookie in his second year, his first or second.
Was that like 2016 or
2015, I believe. 15 or 14. That was 15. But anyway, he was young. So he's not past his prime, obviously, because he's had a hell of a year.
I thought he was, honestly.
Well, I don't know how old he is. I thought he was like 30.
You're probably right, yeah.
I'm guessing, but...
he was selected by the Denver Broncos second overall in the 2011 draft.
So he's 10 years, 11 years in the league.
Yeah, 11.
So he's 31, 32. Still technically in his prime.
He's 33.
Okay, all right, he must have just turned it this year then.
See, that's kind of old. And he's still playing great.
He's playing great.
I'd be shocked, though, if...
But that hurt the Rams. They didn't replace him.
I know.
So,
but, like, if they go to the... Like, if the Bills win the Super Bowl this year, and he plays the entire season, I'd be very impressed.
Of course.
At 33...
But if Buffalo wraps everything up early, then they probably will take... He'll probably get a couple weeks off.
That would be good for him.
It would be smart. If you lock up the 1 seed, just, whoever's older, the veterans, rest them. Especially in football. Yeah, you need rest. So, I mean, but that's a big game tomorrow. That could be an elimination game tomorrow. Then you got
what was that? Right.
That Atlanta. Who's Atlanta? It was the Chargers are playing at Atlanta, and Cordell Patterson got activated. Falcons are in first place, people, and they just added a Pro Bowl caliber offensive player back into their lineup. San Diego's been suspect on the road, and they're 4-3, but you're going into Atlanta, and Atlanta's in first place, and they just got their number 1 weapon back. San Diego's got their hands full tomorrow in Atlanta. That's another big game. Okay.
Are they still San Diego?
Keep saying it. They're at Los Angeles.
The LA Chargers, right?
They're LA Chargers.
Dude, my mind was getting real confused when you were saying that.
Because I just know them as San Diego, and you see those powder blue. I love the powder blue uniforms, by the way.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a big game for them tomorrow. Then you've
Chargers
got
Falcons at 1 p.m.
Yeah, and then you've got who's going to Washington? Did we talk about that?
Yeah, we did. The Commanders are playing the Vikings.
We
Vikings should win that game, but the Commanders.
I got news for you. Taylor Heineke is that dude. I'm just telling you right now.
What do you think their record would be if instead of bullshitting around with Wentz this year, they let Taylor Heineke start the season?
Well, Carson Wentz lost 2 games for them in the fourth quarter.
Did he win any, though? I don't think he did.
I don't know that he did.
I don't think he won them.
He started out pretty good. He did. He started out pretty good.
They beat the Jags.
Yeah, who looked pretty solid until they fell apart. But there's still 9 games to go. Who knows what's going to end up?
But they beat the Jags, and then they lost the following week to the Lions.
At the Lions, that was a shootout.
They fell down like 22-0
and came back.
And
took the lead.
And Carson Wentz,
yep.
Kind of orchestrated that somewhat comeback.
Yeah,
they still lost.
No, I thought he started out good. He did, but he eventually went back to being Carson Wentz.
You're right. Yeah.
So, and he got hurt, I think. And look, Heineke he's America's underdog, favorite underdog. And now that team is going to be up for sale. By the way, it's another thing. There's going to be some optimism on that sideline for the first time in decades. And they're 4-4.
Yeah,
they're not out of it. You could sit there and they're not out of it.
NFC East
is loaded. NFC East, AFC.
I don't know. I would say it's loaded.
6-2, 6-2, 8-0, and 4. Yeah, I'd say it's loaded.
I don't know that the Giants
beat the Titans, who are 2 and or 5 and 2.
I don't know that the Giants and Commanders are. I don't know. The Giants are my team.
They've lost to 2 first place.
I understand,
teams.
But the games I've watched, it's not crispy.
It's not going to be crispy. They don't have a fucking passing game. What this kid is doing, by the way, I mean, you think Tom Brady's got a problem. This poor kid, holy fuck. Thank God he's got one weapon behind him. Saquon's having, by the way, is in the MVP running, the way he's playing right now, by the way. Let's be honest. If he stays healthy, then they keep winning, which, if you look at their schedule, they're going to keep winning. They're going to win at least 10 games. Maybe
I hate watching Saquon run because I swear every time he gets hit, I'm like,
yeah.
Careful.
Yeah.
Because he always takes big shots, I feel like.
Well, I got news for you. He's dishing it out, too.
Oh, without a doubt.
Year. He's number 2 in rushing behind Nick Chubb.
I love dude. Nick Chubb
is stud. And
that dude is so wide at the bottom.
He's just solid. He's just a solid. He's like
I could not imagine tackling him.
He's like a bowling ball. He's just oh my God.
Imagine
you just know when he hits you, it's going to hurt.
He's like Maurice Jones-Drew, but taller and bigger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But him and Saquon's been that dude. So, Danny Dimes is not turning the football over. He's doing this with literally smoke and mirrors. His top receiver has like 200-something yards receiving.
No, I mean, when you look at the pedigree of Darius Slayton, David Sills, Wan'Dale Robinson, I mean, the list goes on. Bellinger, the star-studded tight end from nobody knows where.
I don't know how he's doing it. And the thing about it is he's also second on the team in rushing behind Saquon. He's averaging almost 5 yards a carry, so he's doing it with his legs. He's not making the big mistake.
Does he have more rush yards than frickin'
He's behind. The only guy he's behind is Lamar Jackson.
He's only behind Lamar.
As a quarterback, yeah.
So, are you ready to say he's a better rushing quarterback than Josh Allen?
I'll say this. I would love to see what he could do if he had a legitimate weapon. I would love to, because the Dallas game that they lost, I'll never forget this. He made 4 throws in that game that backups don't make. That a lot of starters don't make. And he was throwing it to anybody, somebody, and nobody. It was just like, what the fuck? And it was like
somebody.
He was throwing, and these were ropes, man. I was like, this kid. I'll tell you right now.
It's just so hard to look at his stats.
No, because he has no one. They reflect the fact that he has no one to throw to.
I know.
But he's only got 2 picks.
6 TDs, 2 picks.
Yeah, 3-1.
He's
3
got
to
a
1.
rating of 88.
Yeah, so he's got
Which is lower than Jacoby Brissett.
But Jacoby
Actually,
has
no,
more.
Jacoby
no.
Brissett has 86.
Yeah, he's higher than Jacoby.
86.
Don't do that.
2 points, okay.
Still, so I don't think Brissett's playing bad. I don't think he's playing as well as he can. So we're saying he's playing down for him. He's better than this. But 86 is not terrible. It's above the average. So anyway, the point is he has no weapons. Okay, he has no weapons other than Saquon Barkley and Slayton. I don't know. So there's still 9 games to go.
What
Maybe
is considered a good QBR?
you got to be above 85 to be good. Great's above 95.
Because
If you're 85 to
2019,
95,
2019, he was 87.
Jacoby.
No,
Oh, Danny Dimes.
Danny Dimes.
Yeah.
2020, he was 80.
Yeah.
2021, he was 84. And this year, he's
88.
88. Is that good?
He has no freaking weapons.
I understand.
Well, that's why he's an 88. I'm telling you, that's why he's an 88. He's got no one. There isn't anyone outside of the New York Giants fan base that could name anyone in a uniform that lines up on the outside for that fucking team. The only reason we know Slayton is because you're a fan, so I check up on them because I want to know your team. So when you
This
talk
is
to
an
me,
average quarterback will have a QBR of 50. That's not right, is it?
50. Well, remember now, there's three quarterbacks on a roster.
What is a good average QBR? A perfect QBR is 100. An average QBR is 50. So 88 is well above average.
I'm saying he's doing well with nothing.
But
I'm saying you think it's low. I'm like, well, look at what he has.
that's why I thought it was low. But according to this, it's not.
It's not low.
But
It's
I thought
good.
QBR went up to like 120 something.
It's good. It's not great. It's good. 88's good. I said
88's
it's not
good?
It's good. It's not great.
50 is average.
You got to be above 95 to be great.
That's elite.
I'm saying great. That great elite, yes. But good is 85 to 95.
Good. I don't know, man. That seems much.
What's his completion percentage? I don't know. Well, it should. If you go to the left, you'll probably see it. What's his completion percentage? Because I'll be willing to bet it's probably 65, 66. And if it's 64, I wouldn't. That would make sense. He doesn't have a lot.
I always pick the worst site when it comes to
Why
stats.
can't you just go to ESPN? Because literally, it's right there. Just like
65%.
65%. Okay, that's good given he has no one to throw the ball to. Tom Brady is 65, 66%, and he has no one to throw. He has one guy who's aging, and that's it. He has no line to protect him either. Tom Brady just can't run. He's 45. So this kid can't.
Okay, so this says his QBR is 58.
Okay, so 50's average.
So that other rating must have been something. What's the rating that's on a scale that goes up to like the perfect score is like a 130 or 120 something?
QBR?
No. QBR is the one that's on a scale from 1 to 100.
The rating is 88. The QBR.
What is that rating? Quarterback rating? It seems like QBR,
Quarterback
right?
rating.
But then QBR is 58.
If you're going to extend it, yeah, QBR.
So he's 11th in QBR. That's what that says.
Well, that would put them in the playoffs, wouldn't it? 14-team playoff. 11th. Yeah.
Danny Dimes.
And he's thrown some dimes to some douchebags. Okay? He hasn't thrown any dimes to any studs, to any diamonds. Just doofuses. So
Doofuses.
But they are. They are.
They're not necessarily doofuses.
Dude, you're praying Slayton becomes what maybe he could become. Who the hell knows?
Well, and Galladay might come back and not be a malcontent anymore. We'll see. Oh, shit. Can I have another one of those?
Of course you can.
Are there any left?
Yeah, it's fine.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to have a beer.
What do you want?
No. Let's go.
It's Saturday. We have to set the clocks back.
All right. Which one should I have?
There's Shipyard. There's the Sammy. There's the Bull Rock. There's
Is that a Sam Adams sour?
No, that's the cherry wheat. That's good. That's good. There's no. We don't have Sammy. I got rid of those. Then there's these guys.
All right. I'll try the cherry wheat.
Actually, I'm not gonna know. Cherry wheat.
Good old Daniel Dimes. Thank you, sir. Oh, wow.
Sam Adams.
Pop the top for me and everything.
Yes.
Cherry weed. Let's see if I get any cherry. Oh, the nose on that.
Pretty good.
Oh, man, that thing smells good.
Craig loves these. Hi, Craig, by the way. Craig loves these.
Okay, this is my favorite Sam Adams beer.
Right now.
By
One
far.
sip. One
By
sip.
far ever.
Really? Well, it's good.
That I've
I
ever
love
tasted.
it. We love it. Yeah, we good. Well, see, Craig, we got another one.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that delicious?
I rarely like Sam Adams like that. I like the sour one.
Yeah. You like the porch rocker, don't you?
Well,
It's not sour, but
yeah, but I think I like this better than the porch rocker.
Oh, I made porch rocker one. That's two, and then
Really?
the cold snap. I like the cold snap.
I don't know that. Is that like a cider?
You'll see it around St. Patrick's Day. That's big around that time. The cold snap.
So it's not a cider.
Nope. No.
I thought that was like the name of an apple or something. Cold snap.
No.
You ever had a cold snap apple?
No.
You ain't never had a cold snap apple?
Did we?
I remember my mom always used to tell this story about, so we moved to Virginia when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. From New York to Maryland for a couple of years, then to Virginia.
Yeah.
But like Maryland was not like the South where we moved in Maryland.
Okay.
So when we moved to Fredericksburg, Virginia,
That
it was
felt
like
the South. Yeah.
And so we always would have stories to tell our family up north about like the people and the things they said in their country accents.
Yeah.
And like one time, my parents were walking into Walmart or something, and there was this country person like selling tomatoes out of the back of their
Farmer.
van.
Farmer.
No.
No?
It was just like a person in the Walmart parking lot. I mean, maybe they were a farmer, but like,
Well, yeah. What?
they were just in the Walmart parking lot, and there was tomatoes in the back of their van,
Okay.
and they were like, "You want some homegrown maters? We got some homegrown maters."
Man.
So that became like a big story.
Maters?
Maters.
That's how they
homegrown
said
maters.
it. Maters.
You want a homegrown mater?
So tomato.
You ever had a homegrown mater? You want some homegrown maters? Then, okay.
That's awesome.
Then there was another story.
That's awesome. The homegrown mater.
My parents were in line.
I end up saying this shit all
This
day
might have
tomorrow.
been at Rose's.
It's a maters.
Which Rose's is like a step below Kmart.
Really?
Yeah.
Roses?
Roses. It's
I've
a
never been to Roses.
really crappy department store.
I never even heard of Roses.
Real bad. It's like a step below Kmart.
We had a Caldor. That was up north.
Caldor. But that was that.
Oh, so you heard of Caldor?
Yeah, that's a northern thing.
Yeah, well, I never heard of this.
No. So
so-
my parents were at Rose's, I think, and there was a couple in front of them in line.
Yeah.
And the husband, and I'm going to try to remember this. I might mess it up, but the husband goes, "Oh, shucks. I think I left the truck open." And
Yeah.
the wife says, "Well, who cares? We ain't got nothing in the truck." He said, "I left the critter feed in the truck."
Critter.
She said, "Well, who's going to steal the critter feed?" And he said, "Some critter might."
Where the fuck did? How did we get on this fucking?
This was a legitimate conversation heard by my parents in
What
Rose's.
brought this up?
I don't know. I have no clue.
What? I don't even know how that started. That's what? How the fuck did we end up with? Where?
Oh.
Maters?
No.
No. What the fuck?
So I was commenting on the beer.
Okay.
You mentioned Cold Snap.
Yes.
And I said, "You ever had a Cold Snap apple?"
Oh.
Because I thought Cold Snap was a type of apple.
Oh. Okay.
When I
That's how this
did
rant
that
started.
funny voice about a Cold Snap apple, which probably doesn't exist because I don't think Cold Snaps are apples,
Oh, clearly they are.
it reminded me of the homegrown mater person. But as a kid, like, dude, I played baseball, and one time I didn't slide into second base, and my
You were
coach,
supposed to, though.
my coach, his name was Elwood Perry, really nice guy, but very country. And when I didn't,
With a name like Elwood,
when
yeah.
I didn't slide into second base, and the play was kind of close,
Okay.
I think it was him or maybe it wasn't him. Somebody yelled out, "That's what they make washing machine powder for, boy."
What? What? What?
You don't get it?
No. I don't even understand it.
Okay, so I hit a double. Round first, running into second. Instead of sliding into second, I slowed down and stepped on the bag. And the play was kind of close.
But you were still safe.
I was still safe.
Okay.
But somebody yells out, "That's what they make washing machine powder for, boy." Which means, don't be afraid to slide and get your uniform dirty.
Oh,
you can wash it after the game.
The old...
No, I guess they still were using powder instead of,
liquid detergent.
liquid detergent. But, I mean, washing machine powder for a boy, it was just it was hilarious. The things they used to say.
I didn't understand what you were saying. Now I do. It is funny.
Right. And then, we would go to tournaments.
Because I thought...
I'm sorry, I'm commandeering this episode to talk about Southern stories.
But the point is, no, when you said... I'm thinking you were saying something like Mater.
Mater.
What you were saying was short for something else. Not it was what it sounded like.
Yeah. Then the other funny thing they would say is we would go to these baseball tournaments, and it was double elimination.
That's cool, actually.
So the one guy would say, "You don't want to go down there and do 2 in a barbecue. You don't want 2 in a barbecue."
2 in a barbecue.
You know what that means? 2 in a barbecue?
No. Oh, 2 in a barbecue?
2 in a barbecue.
What's
it was
that
a
mean?
double elimination tournament.
So they call it 2 in a barbecue?
He said, "You don't want to go down there and have 2 in a barbecue."
Oh, you play 2
You
in
play
a
2
barbecue.
games, you lose them both. You have a little barbecue and you go.
2 in a barbecue. Which up north is known as 2 and screw, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. And so 2 in a barbecue.
Down here in the South, it's 2 in a
Typically,
barbecue.
when we would go play these country boys from who knows where, and they would whoop our ass.
Yeah.
Because all they did was play baseball.
And have a barbecue.
No, we would have the barbecue and then leave.
2 in a barbecue.
We'd lose 2.
2 in a barbecue.
2 in a barbecue.
Actually, you could say that about the Major League Baseball playoffs now. The first round. You actually can say 2 in a barbecue.
Yeah.
You can do that.
I mean, Toronto, 2 in a barbecue.
2 in a barbecue. Who else? Somebody else got swept, right?
Cleveland, the Rays, 2 in a barbecue.
2 in a barbecue. Yeah. 2 in a
Anybody else?
Yeah, there were 3 of them, weren't there? Because only one went. The Mets went to 3
The
games.
Mets went to 3 games. Everything else was a
Was
sweep.
a sweep. Who was the other one?
What was the other one? Shit.
It was.
Who was the other? Who was the other National League team?
It was.
The Phillies beat the Cardinals 2 in a barbecue.
2 in a barbecue. Yes.
Cardinals 2 in a barbecue at home.
At home. Yeah, Philly had a pretty impressive run. They did.
Well, Toronto at home too.
Yeah, 2 in a barbecue.
2 in a barb.
2 in a barbecue.
2 in a barb.
2 in a barbecue.
2 in a goddamn barb.
Anyway.
I'm trying to think of some other ones.
Last game tomorrow. Green Bay at Detroit. Look, I'm going to say this
God.
for the slow people. Aaron Rodgers, if you lose this game.
Didn't you want to call that? Why aren't you calling
I'm
Detroit?
calling Detroit's winning that game tomorrow.
No way.
I called Notre Dame over Clemson
Dude,
tonight.
I think you might be right.
It's this. It's all this.
I think you might be right.
I'm telling you right now. They can't stop
You're
the
saying
Green
you
Bay.
called Notre Dame. I never heard you say that.
I have 2 people at work that will back me up. Ben, but one of the guys that's watching now, Ben, you can vouch for this.
Yep. And John, you're out there.
No, the other guy's Steve.
You know that I called the LSU Alabama game.
Did you call
John.
it?
And Jim.
Okay.
I'm just saying random names.
Oh, I thought you really called that.
No, I didn't call any.
Oh, I thought you called that.
I haven't called a
Well,
goddamn
that's pretty
game.
convincing.
Dude, I've been in COVID.
Brother,
80s.
yeah, it's
Brother
terrible.
COVID.
It's terrible.
Was I Brother COVID?
Yeah, no, I was saying because we were talking about how the college playoff could shift drastically after this weekend if a couple things happen. 2 of them happened.
Downshift?
We said Alabama could. I thought LSU could beat. I didn't predict them. I said, don't be surprised if LSU wins that game. I thought Alabama was going to win, but if LSU wins, I wouldn't be surprised. And they ended up winning in overtime.
Oh, you did one of those?
What? I thought Alabama
That's
would
hedging
win.
the bet.
Well, I didn't bet on it. I wasn't sure.
Right, but I always see.
I thought it was an even game because it was at LSU.
I always see the guys on TV, right? And
Yeah.
then it's like comes down to picks, and they'll be like, look, Buffalo's gonna win this game. They're gonna run the ball better. They're gonna protect the football. Stephon Diggs is gonna go crazy, But hey, the Jets. I mean, with that defensive line, anything can happen.
So it's like. What I said was.
What are you saying?
I said because
Who's
the
gonna
game
fucking win?
because the game was in Death Valley, it was a coin flip game. If it was at Alabama would have won that game by 3 touchdowns. But because it's in Death Valley, it's a coin flip game. I think Alabama will win, but if LSU won, I wouldn't be surprised. It's a coin flip game to me. So,
So that's what you said.
Yeah. But
That is not calling it.
No, the game I called was Notre Dame beating Clemson.
Oh.
That's the one I called.
And what did you say?
I said Notre Dame is going to beat them because Clemson's defense hasn't stopped anybody all season, and Notre Dame's defense is top 5.
Okay, so you didn't pull the cop out of Clemson should win this game.
No,
but if Notre Dame
I
wins,
said Notre Dame is going to win this game because Clemson's defense has been god awful. If you look at the games, even the Clemson won, they barely won them, and they were high scoring, and they got the ball last. It was like they were lucky to win those games. They were all one-score games. Clemson against teams that didn't have a defense like Notre Dame does.
Is that what they make washing machine powder for?
Them too. Yeah, them. But anyway, if you think about it, Notre Dame's defense they held Ohio State to 21 points in Ohio State. I don't know many defenses that could do that. Maybe Georgia. Georgia's probably got the best defense in the country.
They held Notre Dame. They held Ohio State to
21 points in their building, and they scored that touchdown.
So did Northwestern.
It was at Northwestern.
At Northwestern.
It's still not at Ohio State.
Oh, come on.
What? It was at Northwestern.
Northwestern is a tough place to play.
I'm saying they're at home. That's all I'm saying. Okay, and it was a quagmire. It was a driving rainstorm. You couldn't do anything. It was like when the Patriots. Well, it wasn't as bad as that.
This was a quagmire?
It was a quagmire.
I didn't know.
Northwest. It was raining cats and dogs the whole fucking game.
I didn't
People were
know
falling, balls popping out. It was a sloppy game. It was sloppy.
I didn't know that.
And yeah, it was one score because it was sloppy because you couldn't do anything. So it was a quagmire.
Okay, I misspoke. I didn't realize.
I'm saying Notre Dame went into Ohio State in ideal weather conditions, and that team scored 21 with 2 minutes.
On the first night of the season.
Yeah, on the first night of the season when Ohio State's all jacked up and everything else, and Notre Dame was ranked 5th, and they made a hell of a showing.
But you don't think Notre Dame's that good, though, do you?
No, because of what happened to Marshall. But at the same point,
terrible loss for
it's
Clemson.
A terrible loss for Notre Dame. But I'll tell you right now, if Notre Dame ends up beating USC and ends up going 9-3, and again they were in the game at Ohio State. That was a 14. The kid threw the pick when they were going in for the leading touchdown. Notre Dame, he threw a pick inside the Ohio State.
Pickety-pockety.
They were driving on them. They would have going to be up 17-14. That play changed the whole game. So bottom line is, I'm saying that tomorrow. If you look at some of these games, there's a couple games that are like this in the NFL tomorrow. Because Tennessee, on paper, the Chiefs are a better team than Tennessee. But if you look at how Tennessee's winning and where the game is played, and they've had trouble there in the past, that's a coin flip game.
Well, when you think about the fact that the
game.
Colts beat the Chiefs,
yep.
The Titans can definitely beat the Chiefs. Yeah. What is the Chiefs' record? They've lost.
They're both 5-2.
So the Chiefs have lost to the Colts and who?
Who's the team that beat them? Buffalo. At home. Right. Buffalo beat them 24-20. At home. When Mahomes threw the pick in the end zone. Yeah. So, that was a close game too, obviously. So they're right there. But I'm saying, Tennessee is better than we thought they were. At least I thought they were because I figured. But they're winning because Derrick Henry's healthy and he's being Derrick Henry. And the defense
and Tennessee lost to Buffalo.
And
the Giants.
And so look at those two losses. Those two teams are very good. So
I think the difference between these two teams is Kansas City has beaten a couple
Buffalo has by far the most impressive win list. Buffalo went into Kansas City and won. Yeah. Buffalo went into Baltimore and won. Buffalo went out to L.A. and bitch slapped the Rams.
Who are Kansas City's big wins?
At Tampa, which is not looking that big right now.
Not a big win.
Not right now, it's not. No. If Tampa ends up in the playoffs, it might be. But right now, it's not. No. They won...
Did they beat Baltimore yet?
They beat. Who did they beat?
I'm gonna look them up real quick.
Who did they beat? If I go to
Chiefs,
where are they? They're over here on the West schedule. So they blew out Arizona.
That's right.
44-21 at Arizona, by the way.
They beat the Chargers.
They beat the Chargers. They won at Tampa. They won at Vegas barely. They won at San Francisco big. They blew out the 49ers.
So, similar to Tennessee, there's not a ton of impressive wins on there.
At San Fran by 3 touchdowns is impressive.
I guess you're right.
It is. That's a top 5 defense. And they went roughshod.
There's something about San Francisco that I'm not sold on.
It's Jimmy G. It's Jimmy G.
They
just added McCaffrey with Debo. Their one
is
question.
Debo hurt? I haven't heard from him.
He was out the last game. He's supposed to play Sunday. He's supposed to be back tomorrow. but he was out. It wasn't a major injury, but they kept him out.
Either way,
Yeah.
that's a good game.
Yeah.
If Tannehill, they need to get some offense going there. Mm-hmm.
The Chargers are 4-3. That's a good win. They're 4. They're in the playoffs right now. Chargers are in as a 6th seed right now.
The Chargers?
Yep. They're in right now.
I feel like their defense is in shambles.
Well, they're 4-3, and they're in the playoffs if they start tomorrow. They lost to Buffalo by 4 points. The Raiders stink. That was the bad win. That was a bad. They only beat them by a point. And they won at Tampa when Tampa was supposed to have a top 2 defense. So they've run roughshod through a couple of the so-called elite defenses. I mean, run roughshod, 44 points and 41 points. So to me,
so who do you like in that game?
I like Kansas City because they've lost 2 in a row there. And I don't think they're going to beat him a third time. I think here's the thing.
I'd like to see Derrick Henry run on that defense. I'm going to go
I
with
think
the Titans.
I think he can. But I think at the end of the day, Tannehill is not going to outplay Patrick Mahomes. And that's going to be the difference in the game.
I think Kansas City's a better team.
Yeah.
But I'll pick the Titans.
And the Titans have won 2 in a row. I think they're going to come in with a chip on their shoulder because they've lost the last.
What are the odds that the Panthers
Beat who?
beat the Bengals after, go
Actually,
to
they're better than you think they are.
in Cincinnati.
Cincinnati lost in Cincinnati to Pittsburgh when they had Jamar Chase.
Panthers going in there with P.J. Walker.
I'm sorry, that's not accurate. They lost at Pittsburgh.
But Jamar Chase is back, right?
He's not back for
he's not.
4 weeks.
Jeez.
Yeah, that hurts.
So what's he only missed 1 game so far?
He's missed 1. He's going to miss the next 3. That's big. 3 or 4.
So he missed the game that they got blown out by the Browns.
The first game they didn't have him, they looked like shit. And the Bengals aren't. Look, I mean, the Browns are. I don't know if their defense is elite. They're decent, but I wouldn't say they have an elite defense.
They
kicked the holy shit out of them, and they were on a roll. They were playing well. They lose 1 dude against Jamar Chase. It's not nobody. He's an All-Pro receiver, but I mean, the Bengals have other weapons, and they should have been able to get around that. I'm not saying they should have beat them easily, but they should have been in that game. That was a blowout.
Surprisingly, there's another big game. I think we both. You think Kansas City, I think Tennessee.
Yeah.
But, whatever.
No,
Seahawks Cardinals. While it's going to be an ugly game, if the Cardinals lose that game, they're done zini.
Seahawks are in first place, man. And Geno Smith, by the way, let me do this to you. Because that son of a bitch is quietly having an MVP season.
Geno.
He basically made them say Russell who right now.
Yeah.
That's not easy to do given that guy won a Super Bowl there. So, but that's what
Did
it
you
looks
hear
like.
when he was like, they try to write me off. I ain't right back. That's what Geno said. They tried to write me off.
Geno said that?
I ain't right back.
That's pretty awesome.
I like it.
I like it. That's why I'm
But
laughing.
Seahawks 5-3, Cardinals 3-5.
Cardinals
If
can't.
the Cardinals dropped to 3-6.
They are
They
done.
are done.
They have to win that. Where is that game being played?
It's in Arizona.
So it's at home. Okay, that's going to be a Donnie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would bet on a Donnie on that one. Absolutely. No, I'm saying there's so many. These games a lot of things can shift tomorrow.
But some of these games, like Ravens Saints, I don't give a shit.
The Saints are so bad. The Ravens are good. The Saints are supposed to be
3-5.
bad. I know they're not actually out of it, so it's not.
And their quarterback situation's been a little nutty this year, right?
Dude, it's been a mess.
It went from Jameis.
What happened to Jameis? Is he hurt again?
I think he's hurt. It went from Jameis to Taysom Hill to Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton actually looks pretty good.
With Andy
Dalton actually looks pretty good. But Michael, that Thomas, the receiver there, he's out for the season again. This dude can't catch a break. He hasn't been healthy in 3 years. So they lost him for the season, so that's going to hurt.
And any game he plays when he's healthy, he plays like
he's an all-pro
maybe
receiver.
The best receiver in the league.
He's an all-pro receiver if he's healthy. I mean, but so that's going to hurt them totally.
Vikings Commanders.
I'm telling you right now, that's a coin flip game.
That's the Kirk Cousins coming home game.
Yes, it is. That's a coin flip game.
Cousins in DC.
Just like the Tennessee game with. Actually, that game's in Kansas City. Yeah, Tennessee has won twice in a row against them. There. That's why I think Kansas City's
in Kansas City.
Yeah, in the regular season. Not in the playoffs.
So they're not scared.
They're not scared. But I think that's why I think because Kansas City's aware of this. That's why I think they're going to win. It's going to be close.
Could be in their head, though.
I think it's a coin flip game. It could be in their head.
I mean, if Tennessee comes out first drive and it's a long,
hits them in the mouth,
7-minute drive, and Derrick Henry's like, wow.
I will say this: Tennessee is the more talented. I mean, Kansas City is the more talented team. I think Tennessee is the tougher team.
No, not again. Yeah. Tennessee's one of the toughest teams
in
football.
They will hit you in the mouth and smile at you while they're doing it. They are tough. They are one of those dare I say the lost art? Smack mouth.
One tiny little side note.
What?
It's a tiny side note.
What?
Giants traded their number 1 pick from last year to the Chiefs this past week.
They did.
Kadarius Toney.
The receiver. Mm-hmm. The Chiefs got him?
Yeah, the Giants traded him.
But did he ever really do anything?
No. He had a couple.
So we don't know if he's any good.
He had a couple games. He's had like a hamstring injury. Every game, like he would come in, he'd play a game. He had like 10 catches one game, and then he was hurt. Yeah. Like if he catches a pass, he's hurt. Yeah. But now, he was tweeting, "I wasn't even hurt." I don't know what they're talking about.
So I would say
I think the coaching staff just
and you know what we're laughing about this. We're not even talking about Miami at Chicago, who's quietly 3-4. And by the way, Chicago just went and got the receiver Chase Claypool from the Steelers. So now he's got.
I was in the middle of a side note about Kadarius Toney being traded, and you totally just go, you know what?
Well, because
Chicago, Miami, the most irrelevant game on the schedule,
and yet
nobody gives a fuck about.
No,
Chicago sucks. Somehow they stomped your team.
Exactly, they don't.
And you bring that up.
They
okay, I see how it is.
They just added.
Go ahead, talk about Chicago. They're important.
They number 1 in the NFL in rushing as a team.
Yeah, because they can't fucking pass.
No, they just added.
Justin Fields throws 3 passes a game.
They just added
number 1 rushing. They fucking better be.
That's why I'm saying they made a significant move at the trade deadline and got a legit receiver for him.
For a guy that can't throw.
Well, can he not throw? Does he
you
have
can put Randy Moss out there.
Well, he hasn't had it. He has no weapons. He's one step above your guy in terms of weapons.
I don't know about that.
Name me one receiver on the
Mooney. Mooney.
Who's Mooney?
He's their number 1.
Mooney.
Mahoney? Isn't it Mooney? Daryl Mooney?
I don't know who he is.
He's their number 1 receiver.
Mooney? Mahoney?
Mooney.
Magugany? Wait.
Yeah, and just next time you bring
Mooney.
something up.
Darnell Mooney.
Darnell. I said Daryl.
Okay, yeah. He's averaging a whopping 45 yards a game. Oh, he's a stud.
The guy can't throw to him.
He's not.
He can't throw. Oh, that's right. They got Claypool.
All right.
Right? That's who they got?
All right, hold on.
They got Chase. Did they get Chase Claypool?
Hold on. Yeah.
Oh.
What?
Ooh.
He's solid.
They're going to be the greatest show on
I didn't
dick.
say that. What? What the fuck does that even mean? What does that even mean?
Greatest show on...
I don't know. Dick. What does that mean? The greatest show on dick.
What it means is,
God.
how could you?
What?
When I was talking about something from the trade deadline, which we haven't touched on this whole night.
No, true.
You started talking about the Bears-Dolphins of all games.
Because they get a trade.
The Bears still suck.
They're 3-5.
If they had traded for a new quarterback plus Chase Claypool, it would have been good.
I'm just saying, Miami's defense has not really stopped anybody lately. They've outscored them. They've really stopped them.
Yeah, is that true?
Yeah, they've been giving up some points.
Who'd they beat last week?
Who was it? They came back, didn't they?
You're right. Yeah. They did come back. Who were they down on? They came back. Was it on Detroit?
Yeah, it was Detroit. They had to come back from behind. Detroit put up like 30. But which Detroit scores on?
Detroit put on 30?
27 or 30.
Jeez.
Maybe it was 27. It was close.
I didn't realize that game was that high scoring.
Well, Detroit was ahead for a lot of it. Miami came back to their credit. Yeah. But the point is, it
was like 30-27 or something like that.
33-27 or something like that, what they ended up being. But anyway, it was a shootout, and they had to come from behind. They're not really stopping people, and they're not very good against the run. And the one thing the Bears do is run. Now they're adding a guy that actually can catch the ball.
Did you just say doo-doo?
They don't. What?
You just said doo-doo.
How?
You said one thing the Bears do is run.
Do is run.
Doo-doo. They just doo-doo?
They do. and it's running.
They just doo-doo.
Running.
They just doo-doo and run.
You got to do that.
They doo-doo and run.
It's terrible. Anyway,
31-27.
31-27. Okay, so it's close. But anyway, the Miami's hasn't been stopping people, and the Bears were able to run.
They gave up 40 to the Jets. Miami.
Well, the Jets the Jets, to be fair, lost that kid Breece Hall,
Yeah.
who was probably going to be offensive.
Did you know they have
rookie of the
another
year.
kid named Bryce Hall?
The Jets do.
Yes.
Is he an offensive player?
I don't know. Breece Hall and Bryce Hall.
Hmm.
Isn't that interesting?
That's very interesting. Fascinating.
Let me make sure that's accurate.
So anyway, football tomorrow. Do not miss it. A lot of good games. A lot of things could swing tomorrow. Kind of like what the college football playoff thing did tonight. So lastly, real quick, because we've gone way overboard here, Kyrie Irving.
Oh, Kyrie.
I wanted to ask you, we saw what Kareem Abdul-Jabbar said earlier today. When Kareem spoke out on they thought this kid could change. And the gist of that was no, because his support system is all a bunch of yes people, enablers. He's got a ton of money. He's got 4.6 million viewers, Kyrie Irving has. So he's got a short flock there that actually believes half the crap that comes out of his mouth. I made a comment. I posted that comment. Some clown from the Midwest said, I have no opinion. What
are you talking about?
About the Kyrie Irving thing.
You reposted Kareem?
What Kareem said, because I thought it was prevalent because of who he is.
And what, one of your friends commented?
One of this guy, and he's like, well, I don't have a comment because I didn't see that movie, and I'm quite certain you didn't either. I'm like, I don't have to. Number one, I know about the book because the book was before the movie. I'd heard of the book and I heard what it was about.
Well, I just heard that it says things like the Holocaust didn't exist.
False propaganda.
Well, it says that the Holocaust wasn't a thing.
And the quotes that they took from Adolf Hitler were not actual quotes. He didn't say them. So there's false propaganda on there. And first of all, if you're going to falsify a
Do you
quote,
think Kyrie watched it?
I have no idea if he watched it. What I do know is this. If you quote, even falsely, Adolf Hitler, you are not to be taken seriously about anything. Anything at all. Because why would you? Are you kidding me? No, he wasn't technically as bad as Stalin. Stalin killed more people than him, but that Holocaust was every bit real. And what he did to those people.
Hitler was worse than Stalin.
Stalin killed more people than Hitler did.
Yeah, but Hitler almost took over the world. Stalin didn't.
Hitler, but Stalin ended up saying in terms of the body count, he was more ruthless than Hitler was. But again, he wasn't trying to.
That's true.
It's a fact. He
I
killed
didn't
more.
know that.
Yeah, he did. But Hitler's known for.
And Mussolini was there too.
The Holocaust. That's all. Listen, that's Hitler. And why on earth? So Kyrie being Kyrie, because he's the chosen one. We're all he's here to enlighten us.
He is.
Look, he's making me look like a genius, and I'm not a genius. But I knew what this kid was when he was at Duke. So I don't understand how so many people missed this, and their life were a lot closer to him than I was. So the bottom line is, this is who he is. And Kareem just said, look, there's no way he's going to change because the people around him aren't going to push him to change because they're a bunch of enablers and yes people. They're all part of his entourage. Why are you playing that?
I was looking something up,
but my point is that
and a commercial came
I posted that up, and this guy said, well, I don't think you saw the movie. I'm like, I don't have to see the movie. I heard his comments. And I know of the book, which is what movie was all about, the book. Okay, I know what was in the context.
You read the book?
No, but I know what the context of it was because it was brought to my attention a long time ago.
It was Negroes to Hebrews?
No, it's from Hebrews to Negroes, Wake Up Black America. And it was one of my African-American friends who brought it to my attention because he read it. And he was like, I can't believe this thing got published. It was just like, and I was like, what are you talking about? This guy actually takes a quote from Adolf Hitler, but it's not. Hitler didn't say it. And I'm like, he took a false quote from Adolf Hitler about and he's saying that the Holocaust was, I'm like, oh my God. And this thing got published. And at that time when I heard of it, no one ever thought for a second it would actually be made into a movie because it was so ridiculous, the propaganda. So that's how I know of it. Did I read the book? No, I didn't read the book. But I know someone who did. And he told me, and he's African-American, this is a load of shit. It's just like, and I can't believe this thing got published. His whole thing was...
There's part of me now that wants to see it.
Out of sheer curiosity, yeah. But I'm like, if it's like...
If it is propaganda, I don't want to see it.
It's propaganda. Now, when I heard of it, there was no movie. And no one ever thought there would be a movie. When I saw it, I'm like, they made that into a movie? And that's when...
I just don't understand what his argument is now.
His argument is that because
didn't Mel Gibson deny the Holocaust?
I don't know if he did. I don't know.
Mel Gibson's a Holocaust denier. Did it end his career?
No.
It hurt it.
It hurt it significantly. If that's
I mean,
what
I don't
did.
think he's really...
If he really... Was it Mel Gibson?
Yeah, Mel Gibson is a Holocaust denier.
Wow.
He got drunk one time and yelled it or something like that.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow. God, that's dumb. That's beyond dumb. In a room full of Jewish lawyers, no doubt.
Well, no, he was drunk somewhere. And I think he was like badgering somebody.
Yeah, that's dumb. But the point is, you know what I am? I'm a history major. So I studied it. So I know it's real. Okay, I know it's there. And I know what happened. Okay, and it was one of the most awful things in the history of man. Okay, in terms of what he did to these people. Okay, so but the thing is, for Kyrie Irving to say, and he made this statement like he was supposed to be so deep. Hey, I can't be anti-Semitic when I know where I'm really from.
If I know where I came
If I
from.
know where I came from. Ooh. Whoa. Oh, hey, Harvard, have a seat. Hold it. Here's Kyrie Irving.
Hey, Harvard.
Hey, Harvard, MIT, you guys, Ivy League, just shut the fuck up. Oxford, be quiet. Stanford, don't even open your mouth. We got Kyrie Irving, the most enlightened, educated brother on the planet. Human being on the period.
Doesn't he think the world is flat, too?
I'm just saying, this is my point.
I'm serious.
Yeah, he does. That's why I'm saying this is the moron. And by the way, this apology, which came out 4 hours after the suspension without pay.
That was weak.
Without pay, came down. Let's be clear here on the timeline, people, which tells you how disingenuous this apology
What do you mean?
was.
Once they took his money,
Once they took his money away, then he contricted. Then he felt, oh my God. Yeah, shut the fuck up, Kyrie Irving. No one is fooled by you. No one with a brain is fooled by you. And that's why that money that the foundation they gave the money to, they gave it back. Because they said after that clusterfuck,
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they gave back the $500,000.
I doubt it.
They did. We cannot, in good conscience, accept
I
after
doubt
watching
it.
that. After watching that,
Guarantee
they did not accept it.
Guarantee the NBA goes, here, we'll make you whole.
The NBA is not the one apologizing, or should be. They didn't do it. Now they should be apologizing for not punishing him the second he didn't the first time. They gave him a week. They gave him a week to apologize about this and condemn it. And for a week,
Has there been anything like this?
no,
I mean, because I know the Clippers owner
I don't know.
that came out that he was racist
He was
against black people.
Huh?
He had to sell his team. He got out. And Silver was big on Silver.
Silver is Jewish.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about stupidity. Not only does he put this thing out there and make that statement, which is basically saying I agree with some of this stuff, but
Yeah, he was.
But the guy that always said, "Don't bite the hand that feeds you." Kyrie didn't bite the hand that feeds him. He took a shit on it. Okay, he literally bent over, took a shit on it, and left it. Okay, and Adam Silver, who gave him multiple chances to fix this or condemn it and apologize, and then finally then he goes, "All right, you know what? I'll talk to him on Monday." And then right after that, the Nets hear that. Oh my God, he's about to step in because we did suspension. Because the Nets were not going to suspend him.
So, Alex Jones is this right-wing person. Did Kyrie retweet this guy's? Because somehow Alex Jones has been pulled into this.
Yeah, I mean...
He's some kind of far right-wing guy.
Yeah, I know.
He said the things like Sandy Hook never happened.
Yeah, that's not true.
Like, it was all...
Yeah, it's all propaganda.
So, Alex Jones, Kyrie...
Trying to get us scared, scare us into, taking the guns away and all this other shit. Saying Sandy Hook was fault. Yeah, that bullshit. I mean, this country's full of assholes and morons. It's crazy. Anyway, but one of them right now is Kyrie Irving. Now, here's the thing that's probably going to shock you. If he can, and again, this is a big if, what Bill Russell said was spot on. The environment around him has to change if he's going to change. Someone's got to look him in the eye that cares about him and say, you're wrong. You know, I don't care who I think his stepmother's his agent. I don't know what, but the people in his circle.
But doesn't it come down to like he's just not smart?
He's not smart. He thinks he's smart. He thinks
Like,
he's smarter than everyone
You
else.
think the world is flat?
He thinks he's a deeper
And you
thinker.
watch a
Like
documentary.
we're the ones that are delusional into the fog and don't know what's going on, and he's here to enlighten
You watch a
us.
documentary that saes the Holocaust
Didn't
didn't happen, and you
Adolf
share it?
Hitler is falsely quoted, and I think I'm kidding me. Point is that I don't want to see this go the way I think it's going to go. But let me say this:
No, they might cut him.
He might be suspended. He might never play again. They couldn't trade him before he did this. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, when you start and Nike is now not releasing his sneaker. We don't do business with this kind of people. So he's been labeled, and he did it to himself because he didn't condemn it when he had chance after chance to do it. And he only contricted and apologized when they hit him in the wallet, which is it took 72 hours for a joint statement from him and the team to come out, but then 4 hours for him when he gets hit in the wallet. I mean, that's why would anyone believe he has no credibility? Why would anyone believe him right now? Okay, so my thing is he's going to have to. His circle's going to either change, get out of there, or they've got to look at him and go, "Man, you are wrong on this." Someone's going to tell him he's wrong that he will listen to, and I don't know who he listens to if he listens to anybody, but that's the only way this may happen. And Kareem is right. If they're like this, which it looks like they are, he's not going to change because they're going to tell him he's the victim. You're right, Kyrie. You're you're all this stuff. Well,
Okay, so Alex Jones is involved. He posted an Alex Jones video a month ago.
Okay.
And Alex Jones is a right-wing radio host who is one of the people that was saying that Sandy Hook, the kids that got shot up in school.
Was all
That was in New England, wasn't it?
It's Connecticut, I believe.
Was it Connecticut?
Was it Connecticut?
Yeah, Connecticut.
Yeah.
But he was ordered to pay $1 billion to the families and victims of Sandy Hook because of the defamation.
As he should have. That's the least he should have done, the piece of shit.
He basically said
the least he
that they were actors who faked the tragedy.
It's just like you can't make this
There's
shit
people
up.
out there that just like deny
stupid
shit.
Fucking people.
They literally just deny things that happen.
It's just like they think. I mean, look, I've got enough things in my my degree to point to some conspiracy theories. Nothing like this. I mean,
so see, that's where so some people might say this is cancel culture.
Yeah.
Because it's because Kyrie's point is, I posted a video of Alex Jones saying something else, but you're mad at me because he said this other shit. But that's where I kind of agree with cancel culture in a way.
Here's what Kyrie...
This motherfucker is off limits. If he's saying Sandy Hook was actors, you can never, ever post a video of him and say, listen to this guy.
What Kyrie doesn't understand here...
Would you agree with what I just said?
I do. I would agree with you. But here's what Kyrie doesn't get. Kyrie is an employee of the NBA. He has a boss. In fact, he has more than one boss. And right now, there is a black eye on this league.
He's a public figure.
It's Kyrie Irving. Okay? And if endorsements... Because here's the problem. The NBA is going to have to smack him. Not slap him, smack him. And convince any multi-billion-dollar anything that would want the endorsements for them that to not pull out, because they're not going to be associated with that or a league that condones it. And this is what Kyrie doesn't get. He's not just affecting himself. He's affecting his peers. He's affecting his bosses. And that is not going to fly. There is no one on this planet who doesn't own something. If you're an employee, you have a boss. And there are things you can say and there are things you can't say. And everybody knows it, but Kyrie Irving. Okay? And with Kyrie Irving, I don't think he knows this. I've actually, in the top of my head, I've calculated. He has lost somewhere between $300 and $400 million, or he has cost himself already, and counting, somewhere between $300 and $400 million because of the stuff he's been doing. He lost a multi-year deal almost $200 million he should have got. He had 170 something. Right
was
there.
it Adidas that he had the shoe?
Nike.
Nike.
Yeah, they pulled the spot. They suspended that, and that statement was very clear. We do not condone, or we're not going to do business with any anti-Semitic or tolerate any of that. So
did you hear Kevin Durant's response?
He's a fucking.
That was
coward.
weak too.
Fucking coward. Kevin Durant's a fucking coward. He's a fucking coward. Okay, he has no balls whatsoever. I am so sick and tired of. He needs to just shut up. And here's the funny part: since Kyrie Irving has been suspended, Brooklyn Nets are 2-0.
Are they?
2-0 since his suspension.
But I didn't like what he said.
Here's what the Nets need to realize. We don't need Kyrie Irving to win, because why would the Nets keep this guy? You keep this guy. Even to the end of this year. What does that say about your organization? And you're hiring Ime Udoka, who had a year suspension for... I mean, the Nets, they are... Talk about desperate. They are desperate.
So listen to this. This is Kevin Durant on the Kyrie situation.
I read it, but go ahead.
I ain't here to judge nobody or talk down on nobody for how they feel, their view, or anything. Okay?
Okay.
So are you saying...
What are you saying?
If Kyrie thinks the Holocaust didn't happen, you're not here to talk down on that? Because why not?
Why not?
I just didn't like anything that went on. I feel like it was all unnecessary. I felt like we could have just kept playing basket and kept quiet as an organization. What? So you're saying the Nets should have said nothing? That Kyrie Irving should have posted this and we should have just kept playing basketball?
Yeah. 4.6 million followers.
Then he retweeted to say, just want to clarify. I see some people are confused. I don't condone hate speech or anti-Semitism.
I can't imagine why they're confused.
I'm about spreading love always.
Spreading love. Our
Our game unites people. I want to make sure that's at the forefront. Like, what are they beating around the bush for? Like, why is it so hard to just come out and say, yeah, that was stupid of him to post that movie? And why can't Kyrie go, yeah, you know what? I posted that movie. Then a couple people explained to me how stupid that was. And I realized that was really stupid.
Because Kyrie Irving has never admitted he's been wrong about anything in his entire life. He is batting 1,000.
So he must believe all those things in that video.
Well, and where is his support system to wake him up? Oh no, they're all a bunch of enablers. Yes, Kyrie, you're the best, Kyrie. Can I suck your dick again, Kyrie? It's unbelievable. His support system is bad. Is a joke.
Sorry for the yawn.
It's a joke.
This is a 2-hour segment. Might as well go for 2 hours.
We're going to do it because Kyrie Irving's worth this. Because honestly, he is an example. You know what Kyrie Irving has accomplished? He has given every dad of every future dad bulletin board. Hey, by the way, when the kid gets good at sports, here's how you don't do it. See that guy? This guy, Kyrie Irving. See this guy? Don't be this guy. That's all Kyrie Irving has accomplished. Okay, he's become a how not to video. Okay, and
he is a real pain in the butt.
He's beyond a pain in the butt. He is a pure example of how to piss away God-given talent. Okay, and how to give away money. He's cost himself and counting between $300 and $400 million. How to piss away your talent and cost yourself hundreds of millions of dollars by being an arrogant SOB and acting like you are above and better than everybody else. And we're all just peasants here, and we're all here. We wake up in the morning to hear Kyrie Irving. Did you know that?
Interesting though that the same thing has happened to Kanye. Kanye and Kyrie right at the same time.
There's people
both
like
with
this.
Anti-Semitism.
There's people like this. It's just, and honestly, if he doesn't play another minute in his career because the NBA goes, this guy's bad, or they suspend him indefinitely, he would deserve it. He would. And the thing is, what's sad is that you don't want to see that kind of talent go up in smoke, or just basically, shoot him. He takes himself out. Like that's the worst of all things to say. Even when you can't stay. I have my own reasons to hate him because of what he did in Boston. But I don't want to see anybody flush their career down the toilet because of, grow up. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to be wrong. Someone needs to tell this asshole it's okay to be wrong because nobody's right 100% of the time.
It's just crazy to think you could. No, I mean, no, it's not crazy. I was gonna say it's crazy to think you could go to Duke and think the world is flat, but he didn't really go to Duke.
Nope.
Like, I mean, he played basketball at Duke and he didn't even. He didn't play a whole season, right? He got hurt.
Krzyzewski never talks about him.
He got hurt.
That's all you need to know. He never talks about
I
him.
wonder if there are any other players who have played at Duke that think the Earth is flat. You think Grant Hill thinks the Earth is flat?
I don't listen. I don't know many. I know some stupid people. I don't know anyone that stupid. I know some stupid people, but no one that's stupid.
But I wonder how many flat earthers are out there. Let's look
There's
it up.
probably a few. There's a few flatheads out there.
I think there's a lot more than a few. I'm serious.
If there's a number, oh God.
Without a doubt.
First of all, why would you admit that? Because then you become a statistic.
You think it's true.
We have.
Did you know that 1% of Americans believe the Earth is flat? There's 3 million people?
I don't know. What's 1% of 300? Is that what it is?
Right?
Yeah, 330 million.
I mean,
take?
can you believe 3 million people believe that?
Yeah. 75 million voted for Trump. I can believe anything. I can believe anything.
Hold on. Forbes says only 2/3 of American millennials believe the Earth is round.
So now it's a third?
Well, that's of millennials. But who knows if these numbers are right?
Yeah, I mean, look, I
don't know anyone who thinks the Earth is flat, except Kyrie Irving.
if you think the earth is flat, I don't care. But when you start trying to convince other people of that shit or pressing your beliefs on
don't
us,
care?
that's when I don't care, because people like that, you just whatever. It's like I'm not gonna lose sleep because there are stupid people. There were stupid people on this planet before I got here, and look at nobody knows everything except for Kyrie. And until that changes or someone tells him it's okay to be wrong, and nobody, you're human by definition, you can't be perfect, and to apologize and actually mean it, and try and do something to help end that, like sincerely, and not just throw money at it, which is what they try to do first. Just throw money at the problem and it'll go away. No, it won't go away, because there's still people of integrity, and that matters more. So, but I don't know how he changes until what's around him changes. I think Kareem's 100% right on that. So, anyway, that's my take on him. The Nets are 2-0 since he's been suspended. You do the math, people. So, but that's going to do it for our show tonight. Welcome back, Mr. Rizzo. Missed you, brother. Sunday football, get your fix on. A lot of good games tomorrow. A lot of things could change tomorrow. A lot of things can... So don't miss a bit of it. That is the redoubtable one, Mr. Tom Izzo. I am RJ, the highly questionable one, Miliaccio. We will be back Wednesday evening with a NFL recap, and we'll see what's going on. If Kyrie, if he's back, if he's not back, whether he's back.
We'll see you back here at the Dagobah.
We'll be here at the Dagobah.
Right here at the Dagobah.
The Dagobah.
You ever been down to the Dagobah?
The Dagobah. Yoda. You seek Yoda. In any event, enjoy Suck 'em Back Sunday.
Suck 'em Back Sunday?
Is that what it was?
That is not the name of it.
No, what is it? Man Up Monday, Tip 'em Back Tuesday, Wet My Whistle Wednesday, Thursday, Frothel Friday.
You said slug 'em back before.
I said slug down. Slug it. Did I?
Slug it down Saturday?
Yeah, and then it was
And
suck 'em.
then
Suck 'em back. Suck 'em down Sunday.
God, sounds pornographic.
That's the point.
Maybe it's suck 'em down.
Suck 'em
Sunday.
down Sunday. Slug 'em back Saturday, suck 'em down Sunday.
Jesus. Who are you giving these instructions
I
to,
don't
you
know.
dirty bastard?
It's terrible. Anyway, you guys enjoy your
Suck 'em
football
down
Sunday. And but last thing, happy birthday, Connor. Happy birthday, brother.
CC.
9. CC. So enjoy your football Sunday. We will see you midweek. Until then, tight as a drum.
Tight as a drum. A bongo?
You hated Stay Loose.